Sick. No need to put it off any longer this summer. Dr. Kent Wellish at Wellish Vision Institute is here to improve your vision for a better outlook on life.
My reason? I want to wake up and see, and to stop paying for glasses and contacts. LASIK is a permanent solution for a low-maintenance lifestyle.
My reason? I want a board-certified, non-corporate chain, top doc surgeon who I can trust to perform my LASIK.
Whatever your reason, schedule your free one-on-one LASIK consultation at Wellish Vision Institute by the end of the month and receive $1,000 off LASIK. On top of that, we offer 0% financing for 2 full years. Wellish Vision Institute now has 3 convenient locations no matter where you're located. We're close. Call 702-733-2020 or visit wellishvision.com to book your free consultation. Don't wait any longer. Now is the time to get the clear vision you deserve. Certain restrictions apply. Financing with approved credit.
Each year when the holidays hit, something comes over me like I ought to give. Well, it's the holidays, and I got that feeling now. Hi, I'm Dave Mizrahi, owner of Best Mattress. At our Best Mattress holiday sale, my gift to you is to sleep, perchance to dream. That's a little Shakespeare for you, kids. Nice, huh? Plus, I'll throw in a $300 gift with a purchase of any Tempur-Pedic mattress and get 72 months no-interest financing and free delivery. Best Mattress. Sleep easy, friends.
Hey, I'm Reagan, and I am Westar Credit Union. You may not have heard of us, and that's okay. Our team has the same products and services you'd find at one of the bigger banks, and we're small enough to know you by name. At Westar, we're not about flashy football TV ads or big intimidating voiceovers. We're here for you. Wherever you are on your financial journey, Westar Credit Union is where you matter. Check us out at westar.org/join.
So what would you do with an extra $500 a month in your budget? $500. This isn't hypothetical, by the way. This is something you may need to think about very soon if you decide to become a member of MediShare. MediShare is a way to pay for your health care, and typically it costs $500 less per month for a family versus other healthcare plans. So seriously, think about this. You could pay off loans, pay down a mortgage, save the money for retirement, donate to charity. That would be a big deal, but you know what? Here's the best thing. MediShare works. It's a Christian healthcare sharing ministry with 400,000 members. They've shared over $2 billion in medical bills, so they can help share your needs too. And with MediShare, not only do you save, you don't have to pay for things you don't believe in. And that's a beautiful thing too. So here's how you can find out more, and you might actually wind up saving even more than $500 a month. So check into it. 844-47-BIBLE. That's 844-47-BIBLE. 844-47-BIBLE.
1015 FM, 720 AM. KDON, the talk of Las Vegas. The opinions of the hosts on KDWN are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of this station, its management, or Beasley Media Group. Right now, the day's biggest news stories from a Vegas perspective. This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
Oh yeah, what's up, Vegas? Happy Hump Day. Yes, it is Wednesday. Back at you, the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. Glad you could join us. Oh boy, do we have a lot of breaking news to share with you. It is Wednesday. That means it is C-Winning Wednesday. Is C-Win joining us in studio?
What's going on, Brian?
A lot, man. A lot. A lot is going on. And what better person to have on the show than former UNLV quarterback Kenny Mayne, coming up at the bottom of the hour, SportsCenter anchor. We are following the breaking news. That is, UNLV has hired a new football coach, according to Mark Anderson from the RJ, who rarely ever gets anything wrong. UNLV hasn't made it official yet, but per Mark Anderson, they have hired a new football coach. It is offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, and tight ends coach from the University of Oregon. That would be Marcus Arroyo. So he is our new UNLV football
no sketchy
coach.
Media contacts, right, Brian? This is going right from the mouth of the beat writer for UNLV football.
So we'll break this down in a few minutes here. We'll get to that. I just want to break down what we're doing for the show. We got a fun show lined up for you today, I think. Have you heard of these guys? It's called HoodSlam. Professional wrestlers, and they have an event in Vegas tonight. So we're going to get some of those guys in studio, talk a little about that. Travis Cloer is a fantastic performer. He's got some holiday shows coming up in Vegas and some tickets to give away. He'll be joining us in hour number 3. Joe Biden making some interesting comments that if he does win the elections in 2020, he will not run for a second term. And Donald Trump, another rally last night, saying some absolutely outrageous, embarrassing, and ridiculous things. We'll get to that. And there's a group in Nevada that is trying to ban red flag laws from getting into place as far as gun control goes. Yeah, bizarre story. So we'll get to all that stuff, and we're really looking forward to Kenny Mayne joining us at the bottom of the hour. But as I mentioned a few minutes ago, the breaking news is that Marcus Arroyo, an offensive coordinator at the University of Oregon, making close to $1 million a year. So I'm really a little bit confused, and I would like to know how much money UNLV is paying him. I didn't know they could afford that type of salary, but he is going to be the next UNLV football coach. So let me just start by saying this. Positives and negatives. Obviously, the positives are very clear. This guy has a lot of football experience. He's a former quarterback at San Jose State. Was a pretty good quarterback, too. He has NFL experience. And, of course, as I mentioned, experience not just at San Jose State, but at the University of Oregon, which is a fantastic football program. These are all positives. These are all good things. But I do have a lot of concerns here. And my first concern is we're hiring another guy that has never been a head coach at the D1 level. They did that with Bobby Houck. He was a D2 football coach. Didn't work out. They hired Tony Sanchez, a high school football coach. Didn't work out. While this guy has more experience than those guys in the D1 level, clearly, he's never been a head coach before. They did the same thing with Dave Rice in basketball. An assistant coach at BYU didn't pan out here. So those are just a few of my concerns. My other concern is I thought they were going to be taking more time, Chris, to find a head coach. So my question is, did this process happen several weeks ago? So these are questions that I would ask UNLV Athletic Director Desiree Reed-Francois. This is another example of a young and up-and-comer. I hope it works out. I'm going to be rooting for this guy. I don't know a lot about him other than I've read. I don't know anything about his personality. I don't know how he's going to deal with the media. I don't know how he's going to recruit. What I do know is it's obvious that Francois, this is her MO. She hires young and up-and-comers. So my question to you, Chris, is this. What do you think of this hire? What do you make of it? And do you think there were better options out there?
My initial reaction when I saw this go down basically about 15 minutes ago was this. You can look at it from two perspectives, a glass half full, glass half empty. Now, people here in Las Vegas and who are Rebel fans, from a glass half full perspective, will say this. He's a relatively young guy, but he's coached a long time as an assistant since 2003, when he was an assistant at San Jose State. He is familiar with the West Coast, obviously coaching most of his career, with the exception of Southern Miss and Tampa Bay in the NFL, on the West Coast. So from a recruiting standpoint, I would expect that he should be pretty solid. Okay. Now, there's going to be people that are looking at this from a glass half empty perspective. And I mentioned this earlier this week when talking about this head coaching position and the state of this program right now. It's in a very unique spot, Brian. It's in a spot where not only are they making a transition from a head coaching standpoint, but they're also going into a brand new stadium, okay, where they are sharing it with an NFL franchise, which, by the way, is going to be in their first year here in Las Vegas with the Las Vegas Raiders, okay? There's no other program in America that would have the same type of circumstances as far as hiring a coach and as far as a transition. So there are for a team going into excuses. A stadium, brand new stadium. Well, it's not no excuses. It's a completely unique situation where I think you needed to go with a coach that has more experience as a head coach and possibly is a bigger name, right? Or from a name standpoint, we know. Let's be honest. Even those of us that cover college football or that follow college football, up until about 2 weeks ago, I did not know who Marcus Arroyo was. Yes, he's at a prominent school in the Pac-12 at Oregon, okay? And he's, from all reports and from all opinions,
can I just interrupt you right there for 1 second?
But he's an unknown at this point.
What you just said, I just want, and then I'll let you continue.
Okay.
What you just said is very important. You're in the media here. You are really, what's the word I'm trying to look for? on the inside with college football. You know, a lot of these
100%.
guys.
Yes.
The fact that you didn't know who this guy is,
I did not know who he was.
Think about what the casual UNLV sports fan, they certainly didn't know who this guy is.
Absolutely not.
And I want to make that point because I think it's very important. You are extremely knowledgeable when it comes to college football. And the fact that you don't know who this guy is, and certainly I didn't know who he is, it's not going to put people in the seats, Chris, right?
This is the point I was trying to make with respect to, the move to the new stadium and what direction this program wants to go as far as notoriety and as far as just moving up the totem pole in college football. And so my initial reaction, to be quite honest, was I was surprised that they moved this quickly. Okay, that Desiree Reed-Francois and the powers that be at UNLV decided that basically 2 weeks after Tony Sanchez is let go, the decision has already been made, and they bring in a coach that has never had a head coaching job in his career. As far as other candidates that I thought it would have been better, when it comes to this specific situation, UNLV football, and moving into Allegiant Stadium next year, I just think that other names, and I think of names like Jim Mora Jr., okay? I think of someone maybe like a Jay Gruden, some other names that might have generated more interest, that would have gotten people in the seats. Although, look, we understand that coaches don't necessarily do that, but with respect to Jim Mora Jr., I think he absolutely would have been a better choice. But the point I'm making is that it's so fast, Brian. Why so quickly are we making this decision that is going to be impactful for a great number of years here, from here on forward, for the UNLV football program? I just think it was it's just way too fast of a decision that was made. And, look, we're going to see how it all pans out. But as I pointed out, there's going to be fans, fans, Brian, here at UNLV and in Vegas. People are going to try to put a positive spin on it, a.k.a. the glass half full, and then others are going to be glass half empty and note, the things about hiring Marcus Arroyo, why it's not beneficial.
He's Chris Wynn. I'm Brian Shapiro. This is the Vegas Take. We are following the breaking news, learning that UNLV's next football coach has been hired. His name is Marcus Arroyo. That's according to Mark Anderson from the RJ. It appears to be 99.9% accurate. Mark does a fantastic job. He's been on our show a gazillion times, and he's really good at what he does. And, the bottom line is this. I'm talking UNLV football and UNLV basketball, the two sports in college athletics that are supposed to make the university money that have certainly not made UNLV money because of poor decision and poor hires. When was the last coach that UNLV hired that actually panned out, that actually worked? Lon Kruger. Okay, Jim Livengood hires Lon Kruger. Lon Kruger turns the UNLV basketball program around. They're top 25 in the country consistently. They're relevant again. Now, why? Well, pretty simple. Lon Kruger had a proven track record as a head college basketball coach that he could turn programs around, get teams into the NCAA tournament. Fantastic basketball coach. When was the last hire that the football program or the basketball program made that was right? Dave Rice hire was a joke. People want to talk about how many wins he had. He had a tremendous amount of talent, couldn't get it done. They fire him mid-season. Then they hire Marvin Menzies. And I'm going basketball program because I think they've made similar mistakes with the football program. Okay, you hire Bobby Hauck. I liked Bobby Hauck as a person. Same thing with Tony Sanchez. Bobby Hauck had never coached at the D1 level as a head coach. You can't expect, make no mistake about it. UNLV football program, it is a really difficult job because they have been so bad for so long. It's not like you're taking over a program that's in a good spot. UNLV football has sucked forever, okay? Sucked. And Bobby Hauck couldn't get it done. He was never a head coach. And then you hire a guy from high school. Tina Kunzer-Murphy was a buffoon when she was here as a athletic director. With all due respect, she just made some horrible decisions, okay? And then I hope this works out, okay? I hope it works out, but I have a lot of concerns. And if this guy isn't able to get to a bowl game within 3 years, I think the writing will be on the wall.
But Brian, here's the deal. We still have to put a spotlight here on the process, okay? I was at the press conference with Desiree Reed-Francois. She talked about getting that service. She's getting a vetting service where they take a look at college coaches, not just on the West Coast, not just in the Southwest, around the country. They were going to take a look at candidates, guys that had retired, guys that, had been fired, whatever. But the point, they just hired this guy 2 weeks out. Look, we are here in the media in Las Vegas. How many people did they interview? How many people have they talked to?
Yeah, that's
How
a good
many
question.
They didn't talk to anybody. There's been we would have known if Jim Mora Jr., for example, had been in Las Vegas and had sat down with Tina Kunzer-Murphy, with Desiree Reed-Francois, You know, the media here would have been all over it. Jim Mora Jr. getting strong consideration as the head coach. If they sat down with Jay Gruden, there was reports, apparently nefarious reports maybe a week and a half ago, that Jay Gruden had toured the facility allegedly. I went on Twitter. Some people were saying it did happen, some saying it didn't. Regardless, if Jay Gruden was here and if Desiree Reed-Francois had sat down with him, we would have all heard about it, right? And there would have been a talk, and there would have been pros and cons of Jay Gruden being the head coach here at UNLV. There was none of that, Brian, right? It's 2 weeks since Tony Sanchez was let go, and now we've got our guy, Marcus Arroyo,
Chris, I'm gonna
after 2 weeks in, after we haven't talked to anybody else or even considered anybody else or talked to anybody else. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
I'm going to flip my lid if they're paying him over $1 million a year. I really am, because you're telling me a guy like a Jim Mora Jr. wouldn't have taken this job for 7 figures. Of course he would have. I'm very curious to find out how much money they are paying this guy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it is my understanding that he was making $850,000 a year at Oregon. I would assume he's not taking a pay cut. I would assume that they're paying him more than that. And they were paying Tony Sanchez, what, $500,000 a year?
Well, you got to believe
like
they're going to be paying him probably $1.5 million at least, to be the head coach
which
here.
is incredible, because number one, they can't afford that. The athletic department is oozing out money. They're losing money.
I'm pulling that. I'm not just pulling a number out of my backside. That's the number that was proposed for the coordinator at LSU, who was kind of muddled about yesterday on Twitter, which there's never any real consideration that he was going to be the guy. But that was the number, $1.5 million for a coach. And now, look, Marcus, they're not going to pay him the same, right? They're not going to say, oh yeah, here's a $200,000 raise here to $1 million a year for you to be the head coach here, as opposed to being the O coordinator there. Where's this money coming from? So, I mean, these are all questions that we're going to be able to ask Desiree Reed-Francois in the press conference, and there'll be people with their ears wide open to hear exactly, the reasoning behind it, what kind of money he's going to be making. But I'm telling you, it's the speed of this, I think, that is going to trigger a lot of people's interest. As far as why so fast are we bringing in somebody that's supposed to be our guy?
These are all questions we're going to try to get answers to this week. I would imagine a press conference would happen, probably not today, but I would imagine maybe tomorrow or Friday. Something else. And by the way, we're going to continue this conversation. Kenny Mayne, former UNLV quarterback, will be joining us in about 10 minutes. We're going to get somebody from Oregon to join us as well to talk to us a little bit about this guy, Marcus Arroyo, which I don't think anybody in Las Vegas knows this guy. So we want to get more information on him, and we hope it works out. I don't know much about this guy. So we'll continue to cover this story. Obviously, the breaking news that UNLV football has hired a new coach, Marcus Arroyo, as the offensive coordinator for the Oregon Ducks. I will say this, I think this is important to say, because I'm so sick of this. Mark Anderson does a great job covering UNLV basketball and UNLV football. I've always said that about him. I have tremendous respect for him. He does his due diligence. He actually has real sources, okay? Yeah. So he'll post something like yesterday, and then he'll tweet something out today. And all these dumbasses on Twitter, these so-called UNLV insiders that don't have a real job, they're like bloggers. They go on there, and then they read Mark Anderson's tweet, and then 2 or 3 minutes later, after they read his tweet, they'll tweet out the same thing and try to get credit for it. These guys are a bunch of buffoons. If you truly are a UNLV insider, then you would get the information maybe even before Mark Anderson, but you don't, because you don't have any real sources. Okay, when it came to the UNLV basketball program, I knew some people that were very close to what was going on. That is why the day before Marvin Menzies was fired, I knew 24 hours before that Marvin Menzies was going to be fired. So I go on Twitter and I say, hey, just received information that Marvin Menzies will be fired tomorrow. That is what I tweeted out. And then I got a lot of crap. People on social media were attacking me. If you have true sources, then get it right. Mark Anderson clearly does.
So, Brian, of course, initial reaction is all over Twitter, and a friend of the show and a guest who you had on the other day and former UNLV quarterback Caleb Herring has chimed in, says UNLV with a major move on Twitter, still much to learn, but having named a coach that comes from a winning program is huge all by itself. A major building block laid on top of a solid new foundation for Rebel football. Now, that's a positive spin, okay? And it's understandable.
Can I respond to that?
Caleb.
Let me respond to that, okay? First of all, I know he didn't always get along with Bobby Hauck. Bobby Hauck came from a winning program. All he did was win at D2 at Montana. Okay, so don't, with all due respect to Caleb, because I love Caleb. He's awesome. But just because you are coming from a winning program doesn't mean you're going to win here. I hope he does. He was the offensive coordinator, okay? It's not like he's coming from maybe a lower level D1 program that was winning as a head coach. He is the offensive coordinator, okay? Let me know how that worked out with your Detroit Lions. Okay, let's go to the NFL for a second. Your coach there in Detroit, you'd never been a head coach before.
Well, that's a whole other story, though.
But I'm
because
just
you're
saying,
talking about
but that's
Belichick's disciples.
But that's
they
a
don't
perfect.
win.
But that's a perfect example where you get these guys that are defense coordinators, offensive coordinators. How'd that work at Notre Dame when you hired an assistant coach from the Patriots? How did that work in Detroit? How's that going for you? So while I understand why he wants to put a positive spin on this, and I certainly hope Caleb is right, I disagree. You can't assume just because he's coming from a winning program as an assistant, as an offensive coordinator, that he's going to automatically turn UNLV's program around. And stop it. Stop it with people that are saying, give this guy 5 or 6 years to turn this thing around. No, that's nonsense. You don't need that much time to turn a program around. A couple years, recruit your own guys. You better win.
But to quickly add to your point, Marcus Arroyo, it's not like he was some hot name that was talked about with other major D1.
Who else wanted
it's not
to hire
like,
this guy?
Not like there was like 5 or 6 schools out there saying, no, this is our guy, scrambling to get him. So I don't understand the urgency, Brian. I just pointed it out. A lot of us did not know who he was up until about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So this, to me, it seems rushed and it seems unnecessary. But can it work out? Could it work out? Absolutely.
Listen,
it could work
don't
out.
get me wrong.
But I just question the timing of all this.
I agree with you. It's not like UNLV is a hotbed and every coach in America wants to be the head coach here. That's not what I'm saying. But with that being said, okay, I don't understand, like you said, the urgency of it. And by the way, my other question would be, how many other schools were trying to hire this guy? Was he interviewed by anybody else? How many schools were interviewing TJ Otzelberger?
That's the point I'm making.
Right.
If you follow any kind of media, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, and any publications or anything, I don't remember people saying, "Oh, Marcus Arroyo, this guy, he's being coveted by." I'm not even talking about Power 5 schools. I'm talking about other schools like a New Mexico, right? Like a Louisiana Lafayette, like a Florida Atlantic University, which are schools where guys who are either washed up or up-and-coming young coaches end up being head coaches first before they go to another school. I didn't hear any of that about Marcus Arroyo. Look, I'm not trying to blast him by any stretch of the imagination, and I understand that he's had a long assistant coaching career since 2003. But that being said, it just seems to me like there could have been much more due diligence and much more vetting of other people first before you make the decision to go with this guy right out of the gate.
Let me be clear
on this.
Trust
me, 2 weeks since Tony Sanchez got fired is right out of the gate.
This is very similar to the Bobby Hauck hire in this specific and listen, I'm not saying I'm always right, but I'll tell you what, when it comes to hires at UNLV, I got a pretty good track record. When they hired Bobby Hauck, and I thought firing Sanford was the right thing to do. I had a lot of questions with Bobby Hauck. Never been a head coach at the D1 level. This is a tall task to ask him to turn this program around. I was right. When they hired Tony Sanchez, when I was doing a show at another station, I said, boy, I have a lot of concerns here. Going from high school to college football D1, I have a lot of concerns. I think that is a huge jump. I was right about that. In regards to the basketball program, when they hired Dave Rice and they got rid of Lon Kruger because they did not want to pay him, I said it was an enormous mistake, that Kruger was an unbelievable coach here that turned this program around, got them top 25 in the country. They were relevant. I said Dave Rice had never been a head coach before. We don't know a lot about how this is a huge gamble. It did not work out. When they hired Marvin Menzies, first they hired Beard, and immediately I said this is a phenomenal hire.
How does that look after the game last night at Madison Square Garden?
I know. Beard is a phenomenal basketball coach. And I said from the get-go, I said, this is a great hire. Well, obviously, we know that didn't work out. I thought Cronin would have been a great hire. That didn't work out. When they hired Marvin Menzies, I said, this guy won in the WAC, and he thinks he's going to win in the Mountain West and turn this UNLV basketball program around. That didn't work out. I've had similar concerns with TJ Otzelberger, even though I like the guy. I have concerns about him for a lot of different reasons, including he's not a defensive-minded coach, and the Mountain West Conference is a defensive, physical league. So we're going to wait and see how this pans out. We will cover anything and everything that is UNLV football with the new hire. The breaking news that Marcus Arroyo is the next UNLV football coach. What better person to have on next, C-Win, than a man who is not only a former UNLV quarterback here, and I just saw him in town here a few weeks ago. I used to work with the guy. But also,
I'd say he works on sports media, though, too, doesn't he, Brian?
I think he's kind of a prominent name on SportsCenter over the years. None other than the legend, Kenny Mayne from ESPN, will be joining us next. We are going to get his thoughts. As a former UNLV quarterback, he has to have an opinion on this hire. So Kenny Mayne will be joining us next. That's going to be a lot of fun. We will get to all the news of the day coming up in hour number 2 from some very special guests in hour number 3. He's C-Win. I'm Brian Shapiro. Take a quick break. Be back right after this with ESPN SportsCenter anchor Kenny Mayne.
Hey, my friend's company spent 3 days cleaning up an email phishing attack that targeted several dozen employees.
Yeah, if just one malicious email slips through, an attack can spread quickly and do serious damage.
What if that happens to us?
Don't worry, we have Barracuda Forensics and Incident Response.
So we're good?
Yes, with fast automated response and remediation, all traces of the attack can be removed in less than 5 minutes.
Wow, that's a relief.
Protect your business at Barracuda.com. Barracuda, your journey secured.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Does your child love math? Do they just love math so much that once they finish their homework, they want to work on extra math problems just for fun? Anyone? If you answered no, then you are not alone. While your child may not think math is important for their future, we know better. That's because Infinity the Math Institute offers the best math tutors in Las Vegas, produces the best results at the best prices for kids of all ages. Infinity the Math Institute does it all. Does your child need prep for the SATs? Right now, SAT preparation classes in November are just $15. Fractions, algebra, geometry, decimals, you name it. Plus, Infinity offers homeschool programs, free seminars for parents and students. And whether your child is transitioning from elementary school to middle school to high school, or preparing for college, Infinity can help. Classes are filling up. Call us now to find out more. 702-768-1777. That's 768-1777. You want the best results for your child? One call to Infinity can have a huge impact on your child's future. Call now. 768-1777. Tell them the Vegas Take sent you.
'Tis the season to be saving at Centennial Toyota. Toyotathon is on all month long, where you can get huge year-end discounts on every new Toyota. That's right, we'll do whatever it takes to help you get out of your old car and into a new Toyota. Shop hundreds of new Camrys, Corollas, Prius, RAV4s, Highlanders, Siennas, Tundras, and Tacomas. Lease a new 2020 Toyota RAV4 LE for just $189 a month. $189 a month. 'Tis the season to be saving. Toyotathon is on all month long at Centennial Toyota, conveniently located on North US 95 in the 215 Beltway. Or visit us at centennialtoyota.com. Auto-proof credit, model 4430, 36-month lease, $52.81 due, 0 security, add taxes, title, and $4.99 dealer fees. Ends 1/6/2020.
Inspector General Michael Horowitz is testifying before the Senate Judiciary Committee today on the opening of the Russia investigation.
We also reviewed, as we detail in the report, the emails, text messages, and other documents of those involved in that decision, and particularly Mr. Priestap's, and we did not find documentary or testimonial evidence that indicated political bias or improper motivation influencing his decision to open the investigation.
The House Transportation Committee has seen a shocking FAA document that warns of an expectation of several crashes involving the Boeing 737 MAX jet. Nonetheless, the FAA didn't ground those jets until a second crash and after 346 lives had been lost. Greta Thunberg is this year's Time magazine Person of the Year for her work on climate change. She edged out President Trump and Speaker Pelosi. The Dow down about 50. I'm Mike Moss.
It's time to check the roads in the KDON Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Big O Tires. The accident on the 215 Southern Beltway westbound at Rainbow at the off-ramp still a factor. Watch for slowing and highway units at the scene. Also a crash on I-15 southbound at Sahara. The recovery from the rush hour is underway, but there are still accidents to deal with on the surface streets, including an injury crash at Bonanza at Decatur and on Eastern Avenue north of Tropicana. At Big O Tires now through Monday, December 30th, buy 2 tires, get 2 free. Good on select tires with purchase of a 1-year alignment and tire protection package through December 30th at a participating Big O Tires. I'm John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
Hi, I'm Raymond Denon, Vice President of Optima Tax Relief. If you're in debt to the IRS, there's a lot you need to know. Starting with rule number 1, don't mess with the IRS. They can garnish your paycheck, levy your bank accounts, even take your home or business. That's all true. But it's also true that there's a way out. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative. It's one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, even tens of thousands. Nobody knows this program like us, the experts at Optima Tax Relief. We have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, and we've resolved over $500 million in tax debt for our clients. We'll stand between you and the IRS and fight to get you the best deal possible. Don't mess with the IRS. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima for a free consultation.
Call 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Sean Hannity, weekdays noon to 3 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 AM. KDON.
Well, that was some weird.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro. C-Win also joining us in studio. Following the breaking news, UNLV football has hired a new coach in Marcus Arroyo. And you know what? What better person to have on the line than this guy, right? I've admired this guy growing up, watching him on SportsCenter, and we're very proud that he is a former UNLV football quarterback as well. Pretty big name in the media.
Making him feel young, Brian. With the, I grew up watching him.
I did, though. It's true. He looks the same he looked 30 years ago. For ESPN SportsCenter anchor Kenny Mayne joining us on the line. Kenny, thank you so much for being here. How are you?
Everything's good. I looked and felt younger a couple weeks ago. I think that's where we all bumped into each other. I was out there for the, God, what was it? Close to 40th reason. Whatever it was the goodbye to the old stadium before they get to move to the new joint and have a new facility. And now apparently they have a new coach.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kenny, a lot has happened since you showed up here in Las Vegas a few weeks ago. So they fire head coach Tony Sanchez. I spoke
about a day after I left town. Nothing good.
Kenny, what did you say? What did you say to the athletic director? Are you responsible?
No, I was kind of like, I think one more year. But you know what? It's not my call. I'm not so close to the program that, obviously I follow it from a distance, and I wish everyone well always. But I'm not like in the neighborhood to know the interworkings of how everything's going on. So I think he tried. It didn't work to everyone's satisfaction for the number of wins to get competitive at the time period they hoped he would have. And so they went another way. It's tough business. So I don't think it's any, and it's no like, oh boy, he's terrible. It's no great, huge reflection on him. I think he'll find another job and have success elsewhere. But they decided they're moving on. So they needed to get somebody in, and looks like picking somebody out of Oregon football isn't a bad way to go.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, Kenny. Do you know anything about this guy, Marcus Arroyo? Obviously an offensive coordinator there. He's been an assistant for about 16 years. He was at San Jose State, former San Jose State quarterback. What do you make of that, getting a guy from Oregon, even though he's never been a D1 head coach before? Do you like the hire? What's your initial reaction?
If you're involved in a Pac-12 program at a high level, you probably, whether you would be head person or, the next in line, right? OCs are usually kind of like, the generals to the, whatever you want to call the coach. Oh, am I changing terms? The OC to the coach. I guess that was the best analogy. But also Oregon ruined my life, so I have a little thing against him right out of the gate. So, that's where, every time Neil Everett brings up Oregon, I say that. That's where I broke my leg back in college.
Let's go.
I'm willing to forgive if he can come on and do well for us.
Absolutely. I think we're all on board with that statement. If you're just joining us, SportsCenter anchor Kenny Mayne, former UNLV football quarterback. Okay, Ken, I got to ask you, back in the day, you're a 19, 20-year-old kid playing football at UNLV. Did you think one day you would be one of the most recognizable members of the media in the world? Did you ever think you'd get there?
No. I wanted to do news, and I wanted to be like working in these days. I'd be doing documentaries for Frontline, for PBS, or be like the Middle East correspondent. That was where I was inclined to go, because that's kind of like what all my studies were, and that's what my interest was.
That's interesting. I never knew that about you. So you wanted to be like a CNN anchor reporter type guy? That's what you wanted to do?
I like not necessarily there, but that's a generic example of what I wanted to be. Yeah, I think I gave more specific. Frontline's my favorite show on TV, the PBS show. If anybody knows what that is.
Yep.
And in fact, when I was just getting out of UNLV, that was my first job. Was I got $50 per story, and I did a little feature story for the topic of the week for Lee Winston's. And I'm I'm forgetting what the show was. It was, you know, it's like the show that's on at 3 p.m. on Sunday.
Yep.
That show. And then they're talking about serious issues, and I would do the little field report that would set up the table discussion, you know. And he was the moderator, Lee Winston. So my stories weren't very good. It would be painful to look back at them now, but it'd be pretty funny.
$50 a story. I heard a rumor that that's what they were paying you at SportsCenter. Is that true? Like $50 a day? Is that true?
That
or
was the first contract was right around there, and then it's gotten better since, and plus some outside things here and there. But I spoke to the UNLV kids for a couple hours the day before the game there, the goodbye to the old stadium,
right?
And I still call it Silver Bowl. And the number one thing that I pushed was just, you know, being persistent, like finding that line between aggressiveness and obnoxiousness. Really, try to be
Kenny, do you think that's what helped you in your career? Were you one of those people that you were persistent in getting this gig at ESPN? Obviously, you're extremely talented and you're very good at what you do. But as you know, in this business, that doesn't necessarily guarantee you a spot on SportsCenter. So is that what helped pave the way for you, being persistent? Do you have a story you could share with us where you just would not accept no for an answer?
Yeah, I mean, one of them is to get to UNLV. You could argue they made the right choice because I went to JC first, so did Sam King, and he ended up being the starter ahead of me. Larry Gentry was the starter of the year, Brooke Mallet, while Sam redshirted. And I wanted to go there because I loved Coach Knapp, and I liked, you know, the sound of going to Vegas and the feel and, you know, seeing their film. It just sounded like that's where I was meant to be. And they picked Sam ahead of me and told me so. And then, but they hinted, you know, if you want to walk on, you still can. They thought I'd go to another school that was offering me a scholarship. And I turned those down because I had a feeling about that place. And it mostly was Coach Knapp, I would say, and his assistants around him. And so I ended up walking on, but I got a scholarship immediately and ended up not playing all that much, but I still don't regret it. You know, I wish I had played better. It's my only regret. But I love the experience. I love the relationships I was left with. And some of my real dear friends still are people I played with and people I knew from my times in Las Vegas. But for TV, I freelanced for ESPN for a bunch of years before. I just kept on, you know, they would say, go interview Ken Griffey, and I would write on the side, here's the story you could have had, you know, like extra credit, basically. And some people thought, like, who's this dork? Why is it? We didn't ask for that. You know? And I was like, well, I'm going to prove myself to you. So finally I sent him a letter that said, check the appropriate box. The first one said, stand by the mailbox, contract's on the way. The second one said, keep up the freelance work. And the third one said, we'll hire you about the time ESPN 5 hits the air. And
nice.
the middle box.
We're still waiting on that. We're still waiting on ESPN 5, aren't we? I think
we're
so.
Close to it, aren't we? When you count up everything, we got SEC and Longhorn. Yeah, I mean, it's past 5 now. But at the time, there was ESPN regular and there was ESPN 2.
The
and
Deuce.
They hired the people they hired. What happened was Keith Olbermann went from ESPN 2. Remember, he was out there with Susie Colbert, went a leather jacket, that whole deal. It was 1993, 94. And he goes crazy and wants to go back to Dan Patrick and be on ESPN regular on SportsCenter again. Stuart Scott moves up to the bigger chair, you know, at that show. It was called Sports Night. They needed one more person, and it was right about the time I sent that crazy letter, and I got hired a month later. So I don't know if that exactly did it, but no one denies that it had some influence. I've been interviewed like 3 times. They just didn't think I was enough of a sports nerd to be hired there full time. So they were stringing me along, and I finally just said, look, I still don't know who the hell the 5th pitcher on the Cubs is. I really don't care. But if you tell me the story on the son of a bitch, it'll be a good story. And they hired me.
So, Kenny, I got to believe,
reasonable.
being a former Rebel, you have to have a healthy curiosity about what Las Vegas has become as far as a sports town. Obviously, when you were here, it was just all about UNLV running Rebel basketball, UNLV football, and maybe some, you know, boxing matches here in town. Now, of course, it's involved into the Vegas Golden Knights. We're going to have the Las Vegas Raiders here next year. And, of course, all the possibilities regarding maybe the NBA and, of course, Major League Baseball coming. Now, I have to get your thoughts as far as, you know, Las Vegas and how it's evolved as a sports city.
Well, I think you can parallel it to just the look of the place. When I was going to school there, we had these jobs we could have legally in the summer, right? Like I worked as a receiver of goods. I unloaded trucks at one of the casinos. And back then, the Las Vegas Strip was just like due north-south. I don't know if it was perfect north-south, but it was, right? There was the South Las Vegas Strip, and the north was toward town, and there was, you know, the casinos at the far end. Then you drove a little bit, then you were at the downtown Golden Nugget and Binions and all that. And it was like a straight line. And now look at the offshoot roadways and you barely know where you are when you come to town. So, I mean, that just sort of mirrors the development physically, like to the eye, and also all the new things that have come into place. And having the Raiders there means we get to play over at the new G, which I think will help recruiting a good deal.
Oh, tremendously.
Come down on the recruiting trip and see the Raiders symbols, like, oh, we're in the same building, and the new upgrades they made to the facility itself on campus. But yeah, it's truly, I mean, the airport alone is another indication, just insane how many flights a day are in and out of there, and every 10 seconds you're being taken off for landing. It's a busy town. So
What did they have? Did they have one runway when you were there, and maybe an outhouse on the side? I think, right?
This is not a joke. My father worked for United back in the day. Worked at the SeaTac airport up in Seattle. So I was able to fly for $3. First class was $6. So you'd wait and see which one the loads were on or not. And I had no possessions. I had like a suitcase full of my whole life was in one suitcase. So we would move out of one apartment and go home for the 6-week break or whatever. And I could walk to the airport, literally dragging my one suitcase. It was about 3 blocks. Just walk straight up to the counter and hand them the ticket, and there you go.
That's beautiful.
So all of it's bigger, and it's great. I mean, there's so much action. There's something for everybody.
Yeah,
and go there and not gamble and have. I know people that say, I just went for the shoes and I went for the trip to Mount Charleston and Lake Mead, and there's a million things to do. So yeah, it's taken off in a way that I didn't expect. Just these many years later, it's huge.
There's also a very, very underrated food market here. So there's some of the best restaurants in the world that exist in Vegas. People don't really know about, and 1.1 million people are visiting here a week at this point. Which sport do you think comes here first, Major League Baseball or the NBA?
I'd say NBA, if I'm just taking a wild guess, although I would like a team in Seattle before Las Vegas gets one if they're going to do expansion teams, if that's what
Were you surprised?
Our team was unfairly taken away. It just didn't work out. The guy from Starbucks sold it to people who don't live in Seattle, and 2 years later the team wasn't in Seattle. So, that was a tough deal. If you want to know more, it's definitely a one-sided documentary, but I think it tells a lot of truths. It's called Sonic's Gate.
No, I did watch that. Kenny, I did watch that. It was fantastic. And, I worked in Seattle briefly, and I had a chance to interview Gary Payton out there. He refused to have his jersey retired in Oklahoma City. Yeah. He said when Seattle gets a team again. I also interviewed Detlef Schrempf. I've interviewed some great, and of course, Ray Allen went to UConn. I grew up in Connecticut. That was a fantastic Supersonics team, really, right before they left. Some great teams there that I believe George Karl was coaching. Yeah. A lot of history there. There's no doubt that Seattle deserves to have an NBA team again. They're going to get hockey. So, I mean, look, it's just a matter of time. So I agree with you, and I think Seattle gets an NBA team again probably before Las Vegas does. I want to ask you this. You have a passion for horse racing, obviously, and you do a great job covering it on ESPN. When did you place your first horse racing bet? That's what I want to know.
I believe I was 8 or 9 through an intermediary. It was either my mom or my uncle. No, we had a track called Long Acres, and it was like this legendary old track. It was built around the same time as Santa Anita. And early 30s, like I think it was, honestly, it might have been a depression project. You know what I mean? Like there were a lot of big ticket, work projects all around the country, I think. And it might have been coincidental. But it was beautiful. I had Mount Rainier in the distance. Now we have Emerald Downs, which is a little south of there. It's smaller. It's a fun place. It's a good track, but it's like, tearing down Dodger Stadium. And, hey, we're just going to throw another one up down the road. You know what I mean? It can never have the same, because it doesn't have the same history, right?
Sure.
But I hated what has happened out there at Santa Anita. If you were going to get to that, just they need to figure out what's going on, because maybe the best thing they could have done is take a month off, bring in the experts, figure out what's going on. Is it the dirt itself? Are the horses more susceptible because they shouldn't be out yet training? Or, there's probably a variety of factors for all those injuries that have happened over the last year. But it was really hard, and it took away, some of my enthusiasm, obviously, for the sport, something I love. They can't, be jeopardizing the horses and have the numbers be what they were out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
In counter to that is, I think California is a pretty, what do you call it, where it's just wide open reporting. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure it's being reported in the same way elsewhere. I sure hope, it's not reflective of what's going on elsewhere. But I think the people in the sport, 100%, I would testify to this, the trainers, the jockeys,
Yep.
They love the horses. They do care for the horses. They want the very best
Sure,
for them.
I believe that. Yeah.
Something went amiss. I don't know what it is. Hopefully somebody smarter than I can get to the bottom of it and reduce this by a great degree.
Well, I got to tell you, Kenny, on my bucket list is going to the Kentucky Derby. So when I decide to do that, I'll be asking you for a few comp tickets.
Brian, you just want to wear one of those hats. Let's be honest.
That's the deal, right, JD? That's what he's all over.
It's all about the hats.
I do.
Breeders' Cup is my favorite event of the year. That's the 2-day World.
That's a good one.
At the end of the year that rotates around. Is it Santa Anita this time?
No doubt.
But it's amazing. You got Grade 1 horses from the whole world, and it's a great couple of days.
Oh, it's a great sport. The atmosphere is fantastic. Kenny, before we let you go, I want to talk to you a little bit about this foundation for vets you got going on. You're doing some wonderful things. Can you talk to us a little bit about runfreely.org and the great work that you are doing with this?
Well, I hinted at it earlier. I really did break my leg earlier in the circuit game, middle of the season, might have been game 6 or 7. And last play of the game, somebody sticks their helmet on my ankle. So I was dislocation, tore every ligament and broke the outside bone. And I came back and I played the next year. Surprisingly, I didn't think I would come back. So that was the second year when Sam led the nation in passing yards. And we beat BYU that season. That was a big deal. Tony Knapp's final year. But all these years later, I've had 10 more surgeries, and it's not well. It's probably not going to get any better either. But it is what it is. Others have suffered worse, and I ended up getting really good advice to go see this guy who makes these braces. Then I found a different guy who makes like the Ferrari version of the braces. They like to call it a device. He's up in Gig Harbor, Washington. It's called an ExoSim, and I literally the first day that I put the thing on, I ran on the treadmill at 15 miles an hour, no pain. So it sounds like one of those ridiculous commercials you see at 3:30 in the morning when you wake up on your couch, but it's real. So Gretchen, that's my wife, and I decided to start a foundation. It's called Run Freely. You can go to runfreely.org on the internet and see what we're all about. Tells the story, shows the picture of me lying on the ground at Autzen Stadium way back when. And we've now, I'm forgetting, I got to look back at because I was preparing for this. I forgot if we're up to 14 or 15 veterans now.
Wow.
Just a little over a year. A couple of them have needed 2 of the devices, and most just need one. But the best story of them all, we had a lady came out of New Mexico. She was in a wheelchair coming up to Seattle, and she left walking through the airport on a brace. So
wow,
it's unbelievable the effect it's having on people's lives. In a couple of cases, they've gone actually back into the military. They were kind of like on hold until they could prove that they could pass the physical. And many others just, they just want to be able to take a walk on the beach with their kid or get back into the workforce or whatever they need as a brace for. It's going to take away the pain and let them do things that they can't do otherwise. So
well, that's incredible. Kenny, that's
I just
incredible.
ran yesterday out here in Connecticut. So
wow.
I know it's working for me and it's working for others too.
I think it's awesome, Kenny, that you're using your platform for good of helping others. It's fantastic work that you're doing out there in Bristol, Connecticut, man. I grew up around there too.
Shapiro's neck of the woods.
That's right.
There,
That's right. Central Connecticut State University, hard-hitting New Britain, I believe Stuart Scott used to call it. That's right. Kenny, thank you so much for your time, man. We really do appreciate it. You're a legend in this business and very well respected. And down the road, we'd love to have you on again sometime. Thank you so much for your time.
Good stuff, Kenny.
All right. Thanks for everything.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Kenny.
That is Sports Center. Wow, he was out of there in a hoot. Sports Center anchor, former UNLV quarterback Kenny Mayne joining us on the show. We really do appreciate him taking some time to join us. Check out that website, runfreely.org. All right, so when we come back, this is a really bizarre story. Jim Montgomery, the head coach of the Dallas Stars, is fired. A very mysterious unprofessional act, they're calling it, but they're not saying what he did. We're going to try to break this down. Did he pull a Pee Wee Herman in public? I don't know what this guy did, but we're going to talk about it coming up next. And by the way, coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll be speaking with a writer in Oregon for Oregon Live. His name is James Crepea. He knows a little bit about this guy, Marcus Arroyo, that UNLV just hired as the head football coach. That and much more. Stay tuned. This is the Vegas Take.
Cox Business has fast, reliable internet and voice solutions. Call today and ask how you can get up to a $200 Cox Business Visa prepaid card when you switch. Call 1-800-297-2610. Card issued by MetaBank. Member FDIC. Terms and expiration apply.
SportsX Radio Nation, what's up? It's Ken Thompson, host of SportsX Radio, reminding you to catch me at my new time, 8 to 10 p.m. for all the local Vegas sports coverage, plus the national scene as well. That's SportsX Radio on the new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.
I'm Jack Weinstein of the Tower Jewels. For over 50 years, the Tower Jewels has provided Las Vegas with outstanding customer service and top quality jewelry. So come see us at the Tower Jewels today.
Visit Tower Jewels today for store-wide savings on rubies, diamonds, sapphires, and more, all up to 70% off at Tower Jewels. This holiday season, see our master designers and have that something special made for your someone special.
Up to 36 months, 0 down, no interest financing available.
Tower of Jewels, Santa Claus's manufacturing jeweler.
Hey, it's Lee Goldberg of the GCI guys at Realty One Group. Do you know anyone that's looking to buy a home, sell a home, rent, move from California? If so, give them my number, 702-902-3029. All listeners of the Vegas Take get $1,000 in your hand back at closing. Hometown heroes, veteran, military, police, teacher, nurse, I'm giving you $2,000 back. That also goes for hospitality and casino employees. Free use of a moving truck for a day, 6 free months of home security. Call me, 702-902-3029, the GCI guys.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. The world is changing. Isn't it time smoking changed too? Vuse Alto is a vapor product offering you a satisfying alternative to cigarettes. Simple to use, surprisingly quiet, and impressively powerful. Our best vapor yet at our best price ever, 99 cents, plus tax at participating retailers. 99-cent offer applies to Alto device. Pods sold separately. Underage sale prohibited.
Tuscany Suites and Casino is a place for locals to play in December. Tuscany is helping you with your holiday shopping with their Holiday Earn and Ship with Amazon Prime event. Starting December 3rd to December 14th, you can earn points playing your favorite slot machines and shop for gifts on the Tuscany Prime website. Plus, have gifts delivered to your home within 2 business days. For more information, visit the Tuscany Players Club for details. Tuscany Suites and Casino, 2 blocks east of the Strip at 255 East Flamingo, where parking is also free.
Meet me at the Tuscany.
Looking for that perfect new piece of furniture for your home? A New Concept Furniture is the place to start and end your search. They'll beat any price on the internet, and they're here locally, so you can feel what you're buying first. Go to A New Concept Furniture today at 4255 South Grand Canyon to see for yourself the slick, modern, shiny store that mirrors our shiny city. A New Concept. Check out their showroom or call them at 702-570-2240. That's 702-570-2240.
Maybe it's time to take a fresh look at everything we thought we knew about landing a great job. For instance, what if phenomenal careers start at the middle school science fair instead of at the job fair? If being the captain of the robotics team means just as much on a college application as being captain of the football team. And if knowing the quadratic formula is every bit as important as knowing the right people. Well, the fact is, the jobs of the future will be heavily geared towards science, technology, engineering, and math. In other words, the future is STEM. More opportunities, better pay. And the road to these great jobs starts as early as middle school. So if you're a student, talk to your school counselor about STEM. If you're a parent, talk to your kids. Because the job you'll get in the future may very well depend on what you do today. A public service message from America's Navy.
Mark Levin, weekdays 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 AM. KDON.
Big, fat, disgusting fraud.
All right, nothing like a little Smashing Pumpkins to wake you up in the morning. Welcome back. It's the Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro. Chris Wynn joining us in studio as well. This is a interesting story, a funny story, and a sad story all at the same time. So the Dallas Stars are a pretty good hockey club. They have a lot. I remember back in the day, I used to watch Mike Modano and those guys. The Stars have a lot of history. And Jim Montgomery
Well, I go back farther than you, Brian, where they were the Minnesota North Stars. So
I remember that as well. I was very young when that happened.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Dallas Stars are 18-11-3, which is a pretty damn good record. And all of a sudden, they fire their head coach. And the reasoning behind it, a mysterious, unprofessional act. Now, I find that to be very bizarre, very weird. So I go on Twitter and I put up a poll, and I think it's got like 200 votes now, if I'm not mistaken. And basically all it said was, why did Jim Montgomery get fired? What was the mysterious personal reason that Montgomery got fired? And I put 4 different options. One of them was, did he masturbate in public? Another one was, are you sleeping with ownership? Did you say something misogynistic? or racist was another option. Right now, sleeping with ownership is leading the poll at, I believe, 52%. I've got over 200 votes on it. Masturbation, believe it or not, in public is second. I have no idea. I'm having a little fun with this. I have no idea why this guy was fired, but I will say this, and you guys tell me if you agree or not. When your team is 18-11 and you're fired for a mysterious, unprofessional act that the hockey club will not release, this had to be pretty egregious and pretty bad. Am I right, guys?
Well, I got to believe, right, that the details on this will absolutely come out probably sooner than later. It's not going to be, we're not going to need to speculate as to what it is. So
no, we need to.
Being that we're speculating, could be, could be called irresponsible, right? If you're trying to figure out how somebody was, fired from their job.
Did he pull a Pee Wee Herman?
If it was,
did he whip
for
it out?
Egregious things like that.
Did he sexually harass somebody? Did he whip it out in public?
It could be a number of things, though, right?
Did he get a DUI? Oh no, if he got a DUI, that would have been public knowledge. So I don't think it's anything criminal. I'm assuming.
I think that him and Robert Kraft have similar massage habits.
I don't think so.
Well, if it was anything criminal, right, there'd be police report. There would have been all kinds. It'd be out already, right? We'd already know. It'd be like JD. It'd be like the Bill Belichick situation with the massage parlor.
Here's what I think happened.
The same thing.
Okay, I'm going to be serious.
Or they could be putting it under the rug.
Here's
trying to avoid that.
They're not trying
by just getting rid of the coach.
They're not trying to. Clearly, they are.
Right.
They're not saying what happened. That's putting it under the rug. Here's what I think happened. In all seriousness, no, I don't think he whipped it out. Here's what I think he did. I think it had, and I'm just hypothetically speaking here. I'm trying to guess what this guy did. I think it could have been some sort of sexual harassment. It could have been something along those lines involving a woman. Easily could have been something along those lines that they want. They just said, that's it. You can't do that. Maybe he inappropriately touched somebody. I'm going to assume it was something so egregious like that, grabbed a woman's ass or did something inappropriate like that. I'm going to assume, and maybe they have it on video or something, that it's something like that, and it's so bad that there's no way they could defend it or just suspend him. They had to let him go.
Well, it's funny. It has to teeter a fine line, right? Between, you mentioned it can't be something illegal, so possibly it's not something illegal, yet it's still bad enough where you got to fire a coach who's 18-11, smack dab in the middle of the NHL season. So it wasn't nothing. We definitely know that.
Yeah.
Apparently, up to this point, we don't know if there's any legal actions taking place or anything that he's done that could merit legal action. But, we'll obviously wait with bated breath to find out exactly what the details are regarding his dismissal.
Dallas Stars fans were very upset at me for putting that poll up. Did he get caught masturbating? Was it sexual harassment? They got angry. I said, go screw yourself. I can do whatever I want. But anyway, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, as you know, UNLV just hired a new football coach. They just made it official. It's Marcus Arroyo. James Crepea from the Oregonian on Oregon Live will be joining us. What do we know about this guy? We'll find out next on the Vegas Take.
Kilmeade, Hannity, Levin, 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN, Las Vegas, a Beasley Media Group station.
Expecting a crash. IG's mixed bag. I'm Mike Moss. Would you fly a plane if you knew the FAA expected it would crash? Probably not. But an FAA document shows the agency did fear fatal crashes involving the Boeing 737 MAX jets. House Transportation Committee Chairman Peter DeFazio.
They predicted there would be a potential of 15 fatal crashes. I'm not aware of any other certified transport aircraft that has such an analysis.
The FAA had the same concerns even after the first 737 MAX crash and didn't ground the planes until a second fatal crash. In all, 346 people died. The Justice Department Inspector General outlines his report on the origins of the Russia investigation, and others is offering a mixed conclusion. Details from correspondent Linda Kenyon.
Inspector General Michael Horowitz tells the Senate Judiciary Committee his report on the early stages of the Russia probe showed there were problems with the way surveillance warrants were issued.
The FISA process here was not used appropriately, properly, and the rules were not followed.
But Horowitz says FBI officials were not motivated by political bias against candidate and then President Donald Trump. The president and the attorney general are taking issue with that conclusion.
The SAG Film Award nominations are out. Correspondent Jim Roop says The Irishman gets a lot of them.
Just like Monday's Golden Globe nominations, Al Pacino and Joe Pesci received supporting role SAG Award nominations for The Irishman, but Robert De Niro is left out of the lead role nominations category. He will be receiving a Life Achievement honor, however, and The Irishman is nominated in the Outstanding Cast category, which is equivalent to a Best Picture nod. So if it wins there, De Niro does have a chance to walk away with another trophy, all of which will be handed out January 19th.
On Wall Street, mixed news. The Dow down 41, S&P up 2. I'm Mike Moss.
It's time to check the roads in the KDON Traffic Center.
This report sponsored by Cox Business. An accident on I-15 northbound approaching Russell Road blocking the HOV. Stay to the right to get by. And an accident I-15 southbound at the 215 Southern Beltway. Also a crash on the Beltway westbound at I-15. And an accident on the 95 northbound near Ann Road. Cox Business has reliable internet and voice solutions. Ask how you can get up to a $200 Cox Business Visa prepaid card when you switch. Call 1-800-297-2610 today. Card issued by Metabank. Member FDIC. Terms and expiration apply. John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
This holiday season, get the rest you deserve with Helix Sleep. Helix makes personalized mattresses to fit your unique body type and sleep preferences and give you the best sleep of your life. Go to helixsleep.com and get up to $200 off during their holiday sale.
Hey, Chuck, can you explain the difference between Dollar Loan Center's locations and the typical check cashing and payday places?
Well, we don't have bulletproof glass, we don't have bars on the windows, we don't have plastic furniture. Look, our locations are more upscale, clean and safe, like banks used to be. You walk in, it's a beautiful atmosphere, DLC radio's cranked up, and immediately you feel comfortable and welcome.
And your locations have even won awards for how nice they are?
For several years in a row, the Financial Service Centers of America have awarded us with the Activia Award for Outstanding Community Service and the Star Award for Best Store Appearance. Both are national recognitions.
That was Chuck, founder of Dollar Loan Center, where you can get up to $5,000 in just minutes without a checking account or any collateral or car title. We have over 50 locations, or you can also apply over the phone or online at don'tbebroke.com.
Licensed by Nevada Financial Institutions Division. Customer must meet the normal loan qualifications. For review loan qualifications, visit us at don'tbebroke.com. Certain limitations may apply. Loans are subject to approval.
What's your reason to do LASIK? No need to put it off any longer this summer. Dr. Kent Wellish at Wellish Vision Institute is here to improve your vision for a better outlook on life.
My reason? I want to wake up and see, and to stop paying for glasses and contacts. LASIK is a permanent solution for a low-maintenance lifestyle.
My reason? I want a board-certified, non-corporate chain, top doc surgeon who I can trust to perform my LASIK.
Whatever your reason, schedule your free one-on-one LASIK consultation at Wellish Vision Institute by the end of the month and receive $1,000 off LASIK. On top of that, we offer 0% financing for 2 full years. Wellish Vision Institute now has 3 convenient locations no matter where you're located. We're close. Call 702-733-2020 or visit wellishvision.com to book your free consultation. Don't wait any longer. Now is the time to get the clear vision you deserve. Certain restrictions apply. Financing with approved credit.
Rich is just a really good guy. The term good egg isn't enough to describe him. He's also certified organic and free range. Rich puts the cap back on everything. The toothpaste, the olive oil, the shampoo, everything. He lets his 10-year-old nephew beat him at virtual tennis, even though he can straight up slay his 10-year-old nephew in virtual tennis. When the toilet paper is running low, Rich replaces the roll on the actual holder, not just on the back of the toilet. Rich is texting and driving. Rich, no. What are you doing, Rich? I was just telling everyone how great you are. Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Las Vegas's only FM news talk station is right here. The new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON. Right now, the day's biggest news stories from a Vegas perspective. This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
All right, welcome back. Rolling out the red carpet, baby. Hour number 2. It is the Vegas take on a hump day. Sharp and Shapiro, C-Win, guest hosting today as well. It's so funny because I heard, I got a few text messages from a couple people that are people in the media in Las Vegas that know nothing about this guy, Marcos Arroyo, except what we know and what we've read about him. And, that's fine. They're entitled to their opinions. But great hire, great hire. If you don't know anything about him, how can you form an opinion? That's kind of my take on it. So
it's a very optimistic outlook right there. If you have no idea what's going on, and still want to chime in.
So if you don't, is he going to be the highest paid coach in the Mountain West? That's my question.
Let's ask the man we have. I said let's get somebody on the line that actually knows something about this guy. And he writes, of course, for the Oregonian and Oregon Live. James Crepea joining us now on the line. James, I appreciate you joining us on such short notice. How are you?
Doing well. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Doing great, James.
So, James, as I just said, I don't know a lot about this guy, except that he's been a coach for, about 16 years, a former quarterback at San Jose State. What can you tell us about this guy, Marcos Arroyo, that people in Las Vegas you think need to know?
Well, he's a really strong recruiter. That's been evident by the players that he's managed to help bring in over his 3 years at Oregon. A really, really strong recruiter. I mean, he was instrumental so far in the recruiting process of some of Oregon's biggest offensive commits, both last year and this year in particular. I mean, their quarterback commit right now for the 2020 class is really strongly tied to Marcos Arroyo. Now, I'm not going to suggest that he's going to flip the UNLV or something. I mean, there's a little bit of a demarcation, I would say, between the Pac-12 and the Mountain West in the recruiting realm. But be that as it may, and also Johnny Wilson, who's a 4-star, borderline 5-star receiver out of the Calabasas area, who, again, Arroyo was really instrumental in recruiting, along with other members of the staff as well. The point is, several of their top offensive recruits over the last couple of years have been pursued by Marcos Arroyo. So he's a big-time recruiter. And as far as an offensive coordinator and play caller, certainly Oregon fans, like many fan bases out there, they do a great job from the couch and will criticize and find ways to do that. But ultimately, this is a guy who led an offense that improved year after year after year, and has a quarterback who's set to go in the first round of the NFL draft. And from UNLV's perspective, in a program, towards the bottom of the Mountain West right now, I don't know how you're going to do much better than that.
Am I wrong? I believe he was making, and correct me if I'm wrong, James, $850,000 a year at Oregon. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
he was making that this year. He was due for a slight raise next year, and there is no buyout with him leaving to be a head coach.
So I'm going to assume he's going to be making somewhere around $1.5 million a year at UNLV, but we're going to find that out at the press conference on Friday. So here's another question for you, James. Those are all great things, by the way, that you mentioned. We need players. We need recruiting. And what you just said, I'm really happy to hear that. With that said, 16 years as an assistant coach, has he ever been offered a head coaching job before that you know of?
I would not be able to speak to every opportunity that may have come across, but I would be a bit surprised if he had on one hand. On the other, I know you mentioned 16 years, but he's 39.
Right.
Right. I mean, when you start off at the GA level when you're 23 and whatnot, you're not being a head coach in the next couple of years, unless you're Joe Brady, I guess. Maybe that could happen. But no, I don't believe so. Again, he served previously as an offensive coordinator at Oklahoma State. He had the 1-year stint with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but no, I believe this is his first head coaching opportunity at the FBS level. At least, maybe again, I can't speak to somebody at the FCS
understood
came along, but
understood.
No, I believe this is his first big one. Yeah.
If you're just joining us, we're speaking with James Crepea. Does a great job writing for the Oregonian, Oregon Live, covering the Ducks football program. All right, so let's put this in a perspective here, James. What you know from this guy as an offensive coordinator, for people that are not familiar with Oregon football, how do you think he's going to run the offense here at UNLV? What type of offense does UNLV football look like next year? And I know you're not very familiar, obviously, with every player that UNLV has, but in general terms, what do you think the UNLV offense will look like in the coming years under Marcos Arroyo?
Well, systematically, what he ran at Oregon was a pistol offense insofar as, it's a pistol formation. It's kind of a misnomer that it's the full offense. It's not a scheme. It's a formation. So formationally, you're going to see a lot of the pistol and shotgun, kind of a combination of the two. I don't know if you want to call that spread or not spread. I mean, everybody's got kind of a wide umbrella definition of what that is, but a lot of 3 wide sets, basically. out of the pistol or shotgun formation. And again, for Oregon fans who are some of them, you'll see it out there on social media. If you're a UNLV fan, seeing what the Oregon reaction is to this, don't go only by what the Oregon fan is reacting to, because the Oregon fan had basically anointed expectations on Justin Herbert for his return this year, and some of them were completely outlandish. And they had every answer for everything that was ailing this top 15 offense. Whether they wanted a 6'6", 240-pound quarterback to run the ball a lot. I can assure you, if UNLV is fortunate enough to ever get a quarterback of that size and stature, Marcus Royal's probably not going to run him very much.
Right.
Now, if he gets a quarterback who's a little bit more mobile, perhaps he would be more open to that idea. But again, mainly formationally, like I gave you, pistol 3 wide. But he's a strong believer in the run. I mean, even going back to Oklahoma State, look, he had Justice Hill playing for him. Yes, he's had 1,000-yard receivers as well. But he recruited Chuba Hubbard to Oklahoma State, and he went up way, way up into Canada to get him. And again, he also was instrumental in having C.J. Verdell here have back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. So it's not just about a Justin Herbert who's developed and improved his statistics year over year for several years under Royal. I would say it's a strong foundation in the run game, but formationally, yes, a little bit out of that pistol.
So, James, obviously over the course of time, the media is going to get a chance to get to know this guy. The fans are going to get a chance to get to know this guy. But I want to ask you right now, in your interactions with him, can you give me just a little bit of background on just his personality? Is he going to be like a screamer on the sidelines? Is he going to be that tough guy in your face? Is that his personality, or is this kind of a guy that's a little bit more laid back? Every coach has a different personality, right? Can you give us a little perspective? What is this guy's personality? How is he like? How do you think he's going to be like dealing with the media as a head coach? And what is he like on the sidelines?
Well, in dealing with the media, I can only go by basically our weekly interactions, and I call them more press gaggles than press conferences. It's kind of it's not in a room. It's kind of outside, so it's a more informal setting. But he's got a personality to him. Now, I can't say what he's going to do on the sideline because he coached from the box as an offensive coordinator.
Right, of course.
So that's going to be, frankly, an adjustment for him. He's been up in the box for years. I actually, off the top of my head, couldn't tell you the last time he was down on the sideline. Probably was as in the GA world or what have you. For all I know, he was charting plays at that time. I really don't know. So with him being on the sideline strategically and certain things, as far as I couldn't tell you. Oregon was quite aggressive on 4th down this year. Some of it was due to the fact that their field goal kicker wasn't very good. But be that as it may, does that mean Marcus is going to be is a pure analytics guy and he's going to be going for 4th down a lot? I couldn't tell you. Maybe. I know he's pretty big into analytics. He is a strong believer in a lot of efficiency measures and things like that. So there's that aspect to him. But personality-wise, I think he'll have a little bit of flair and caginess to him. But no, is he a guy who's going to be super in your face or anything like that? No, I would not. I'd say he's kind of between the laid back means and also again has a little bit of a wry sense to him at times. But how much do you show that as a coordinator versus how much you show that as a head coach? I mean, you find out when somebody gets in that chair, kind of thing. But no, I would not say that he's a guy who's is he a huge rah guy who's going to be going bananas? Probably not. But then again, like I say, you become the head coach, you're on the sideline, it's a little bit of a different situation, but he's a bit more laid back.
So, James, kind of an extension off of Brian's question there regarding his mentality and his approach. He ends up going from Eugene, right, where he's an assistant coach, where it's all about, I've never been to Eugene, but I would expect it's all about Oregon football there and pretty much nothing else, right, to going to Las Vegas where, make no mistake, UNLV football is not exactly the main cog here that people are focused on. So he's going from that market to here in Las Vegas. James, I don't know how much time you spend here in Vegas, but your thoughts on how he will respond and react to going from an assistant coach there to now coming here to Las Vegas and being the head coach at the program at UNLV.
Well, yeah, this is definitely a Ducks-obsessed market for sure, and I understand the differences in the two. But above all, again, we go back to recruiting. I think the Vegas area and the greater Southwest, where Marcus spends a lot of time recruiting for Oregon, I think that kind of serves well for him in this capacity, for one. And two, I mean, let's face it, whether it was Marcus Roy or anybody else at UNLV, guys, whoever the head coach was going to be, they were always going to be taking over a program that needed to be built back up. So the idea that they're not the top draw, well, now or probably for the foreseeable future, I mean, no kidding. And they need to go out and prove it, and they need to go out and build. And frankly, the best thing for whoever the head coach is going to be, and it happens to be Marcus, is that in year one, the growing pains are going to be ignored by a good number of people. I mean, let's face it, for the average person who's maybe not, the diehard, Rebel supporter, they're not necessarily going to notice all the growing pains along the way and some of the adjustments and implementation. But you start to see it more in year 2 and 3, you hope. I think that's kind of the advantage of the position, frankly. But there's the draw of being in a new facility, stadium-wise, and then the new facilities that UNLV is building. Is that all really appealing? I can imagine, yes, as a head coach, that would be rather big from the recruiting perspective, again, to when you're trying to bring in just a higher caliber of player than UNLV's had over the past couple of years. Yeah, that's all part of that process. So how is he going to adjust to, going from being in a, major spotlight as a Pac-12 offensive coordinator of a, national caliber program to being a head coach of a building program? Hey, that's part of the process. But like I said, I think you kind of like the anonymity, relatively speaking, early on, because you don't want all the faults to be pointed out when we all recognize there's going to be flaws and faults and issues along the way, because that's the building process.
Yeah. I guess I could have boiled it down, James, to this. Does he know what he's in for when he's coming here to Las Vegas? Because, it's safe to say it's going to be a tough task. And like you said, regardless of who the head coach is.
Oh, I don't think that this is beyond him as far as just the general idea that, yes, that this is obviously a building situation, but a program that has, again, a lot of the resource infrastructure and things in place. I don't think that him or any other candidate who's going to come along, that any of this is new information to them. No, I think that this is the gravity of the situation. I don't think escapes him at all. And I think it's a challenge that clearly makes a lot of sense for him. Again, he was a top coordinator at a top 15 offense, as a quarterback destined for the first round, wants to be a head coach. And this is the kind of opportunity that comes along that makes sense. Frankly, for Marcus to take. So, hey, best of luck to him. And like I say, it may take a minute. Obviously, it's not something that he's going to turn it around in 1 year and have some grad transfer guy come in and then all of a sudden everything's fixed.
Yeah,
no, it's probably going to take a while.
Make no mistake about it.
Or anybody else.
Yeah, make no mistake about it. If we got Nick Saban, he wouldn't be able to turn it around in a year either. Listen, James, I really appreciate your perspective, and you probably gave the listeners more information on this guy than anybody else in this town this morning. So I really appreciate you coming on such short notice. Can you give out that information, how people can follow you, your publication? Put that out there for us.
Absolutely. Well, you can follow me on Twitter at James Crepea. That's spelled Crepea. Read my work on OregonLive.com. Again, everything on the Ducks, but yes, we'll be following through with stuff here with Marcus. In addition to some other things, because the question of whether or not he'll coach in the bowl game, for example, is something that both sides have to be.
That's a good question. Yeah, that's a question.
And, well, I'll say this: with the recruiting dead period, with the early signing at that point over with, because we're only talking about a week from now, and then the dead period thereafter. Plus, he has $30,000 in bonuses contingent on his coaching in the game. So I'd say that there's a pretty good reason for him to coach in this bowl game for both the short term and frankly, for the UNLV perspective, because
no doubt,
one, it really doesn't harm him as long as he's able to assemble a staff in the background and balance that. And two, from a recruiting perspective, you're on national television and you have an opportunity to be talked about as the next head coach at UNLV. They'll show him in the box calling plays, and as long as it looks good, it certainly makes a lot of sense from a recruiting perspective to coach in the game. So financially, economically, and certainly from recruiting and going forward perspective for all parties, it makes sense if he does coach in the game, but we'll find that out. Check that out on OregonLive.com and et cetera.
I'm okay with him wearing an Oregon shirt. Do you think there's any chance we could get him to wear a UNLV hat up there in the box? Probably not.
If he sticks around, I'll be sure to ask him what the game-day garb will look like.
Hey, James, off the kilter question: if Breedland stayed healthy, would Oregon won the Pac-12?
Well, I mean, they won the Pac-12. I mean, would they be going to the playoff?
Right.
They have avoided the loss of ASU.
Right.
I mean, it certainly would have helped, but I mean, ultimately. Look, they had 2 losses. Breland was there for the opener. Maybe if they had one of the other receivers in the opener, but that's not the game that cost them. The ASU game, some fans are still harping on the offense on that one. The offense is the one lost that game. What lost that game was over 500 yards on the defense that had played really, really well all season. It's an outlier, but the defense made Jaden Daniels, who could be a phenomenal quarterback in the years to come.
I agree.
State. They made him look like a Heisman contender. And, I mean, bottom line, you can't allow an 81-yard pass on 3rd and 16 in a one-score game inside 6 minutes. It's almost unprecedented college football. You can't allow that to happen. And that's not on the offense or Arroyo or an injured tight end. That's just, you cannot allow an 81-yard touchdown on 3rd and 16.
No doubt.
That's what lost that game. But would he made an impact down the stretch? Yeah, I mean, that's a guy who, like I say, for Oregon fans who have been critical at times of this offense, that's a guy who, look, midseason All-American. If it weren't for the injury, he absolutely unequivocally would have won the Mackey Award. There's no doubt in my mind. He is only one touchdown below the Mackey Award winner, who was just announced this morning, and that's not knocking that young man. He's a 1,000-yard receiver at FAU. But a 1,000-yard receiver with 7 touchdowns at the tight end position. Breland had over 406 in 6 games and got hurt. And Arroyo coached tight ends a year ago. He changed. They shuffled the staff to remove that responsibility from him. So he developed a guy like a Jake Breland into a Mackey Award caliber player prior to that injury. Would he have made a huge difference to the offense? Absolutely. But it wouldn't have changed the outcome of the 2 losses they had this year.
Well, James, I can't thank you enough for your time, my man. Thank you so much for your perspective. We appreciate it. Keep up the good work, and hopefully we can catch you soon down the road. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
All right, there you go.
Thanks a lot,
That's James Crepea joining us from the Oregonian and Oregon Live, giving us a perspective on UNLV football's new hire, Marcus Arroyo. Got some good perspective from him. Good recruiter. That's certainly good to know. We need a quarterback. All right, we're going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, we have to follow the breaking news, everything that's going on in the political world. Joe Biden saying that he's not going to run 2 terms if he wins, and then you're not going to believe, or maybe you will believe, some of the stuff that Donald Trump said in a campaign rally last night. We have it for you coming up next. You're listening to the Vegas Take right here on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.
V is for victory, except on Saturdays when V is for veterans. That's Veterans Talk, The Forgotten Promise. Join us every Saturday from noon to 1.
Veterans Talk every Saturday at noon on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.
Hi, this is Harvey Blankfeld, host of Las Vegas Real Estate Now. We are saying farewell to Tuesdays at 9 a.m. and moving to Saturdays at 11 a.m. Please do tune in every Saturday at 11 a.m. and learn about real estate right here on the new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN, the talk of Las Vegas.
A Home for Spot is a nonprofit group of dog lovers whose mission is to rescue, provide sanctuary, and ultimately to rehome abandoned, stray, and neglected dogs. To donate, foster, or adopt, go online to ahome4spot.com.
This is Harry Jacobs from Credit Restoration of Nevada, inviting you to join me for the Credit Show, Saturday mornings between 9 and 10, here on the new 101.5 FM and 720 AM, KDAWN.
Oh, long time no see. It's me, the Rock t-shirt in the back of your closet. Dude, remember? You crowd surfed in me, man. But you haven't worn me in like forever. I get it, you're retired, but I still got some rock left in me. So take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Las Vegas is glitz and glamour, but between neighborhood greenways and marquees lurks the tragedy of homeless veterans. Our nation's heroes who've ensured our freedoms, who haven't escaped the effects of war. Veterans Village is a place of hope, providing transitional housing, meals, and social services to homeless veterans. Veterans Village is a nonprofit that saves lives, but we need you. Please donate today at vvlv.org. That's vvlv.org.
Sean Hannity, weekdays noon to 3 p.m.
Imagine being fired because of who you love. Imagine being denied medical treatment because of who you marry. Imagine being evicted because of who you are. Millions of Americans don't have to imagine this. They have to live it. Because in 31 states, it's legal to discriminate against LGBT people. Get the facts at beyondido.org. Brought to you by the Gill Foundation and the Ad Council.
Sean Hannity, weekdays noon to 3 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro, so glad you could join us. Trust me, we will continue to cover monitor UNLV's new football hire. And, of course, there's going to be a press conference Friday morning. We just learned at 11 a.m. We're going to do our best to try to cover that thing live for you, and we will continue to monitor it. Speaking of covering things, Donald Trump had another campaign rally. Seems like he's doing more rallies and playing golf than actually doing his job. But President Trump rallied. It was in Pennsylvania, talking about the articles of impeachment. He called the impeachment light. I have a listen to this soundbite. It just sounds a little weird to me, but here it is.
You saw their so-called articles of impeachment today? People are saying they're not even a crime. What happened? All of these horrible things, remember? Bribery and this and that. Where are they? They send these two things that are not even a crime. This is the lightest, weakest impeachment. You know, our country's had actually many impeachments. You call judges and lots of many impeachments. But it was on today. Everybody said, this is impeachment light.
First of all, dummy, you don't have to commit a crime to be impeached. That's number one. Number two, what do you mean impeachment light? What does that word even mean? There is overwhelming evidence and proof that you withheld aid for political gain. Overwhelming. There are 17 witnesses that testified, one of them that donated $1 million to your campaign. So what do you mean impeachment light? That's like saying your weight is light, Mr. President. With all due respect, it makes absolutely and positively no sense.
So, Brian, there were 2 articles of impeachment, right, which are ironclad as far as reasons why he can be impeached. It's called abuse of power. All right, and also obstruction of Congress. Those are the 2 things that, if he's impeached, are going to be brought up and mentioned. And so there no longer is debate as to whether or not he should be impeached. It's just a matter of whether or not he's going to get convicted in the Senate. Yeah, and then, of course, that's a political thing that we all understand the reality of that taking place. So,
and then Donald Trump, by the way, Chris, suggested that the Democrats are impeaching him in order to win an election. Have a listen to this.
The House Democrats are walking back from everything they claimed with today's announcement. They're now admitting there was no collusion, there was no obstruction of justice, and there were no crimes whatsoever. There are no crimes. It says it. There are no crimes. They're impeaching me, and there are no crimes. This has to be a first in history. They're impeaching me. You know why? Because they want to win an election, and that's the only way they can do it.
Okay, now keep in mind, this is the President of the United States talking about Adam Schiff. I want you to listen to the verbiage that he uses in talking about Schiff. Have a listen to this.
But just quickly, here are the facts on Shifty Schiff. This honest guy makes up my statements. He said the president of Ukraine repeatedly declared that there was no pressure, but he didn't want to say that. We said, say it. Say it, you crooked bastard. Say it.
So he calls Adam Schiff a crooked bastard. Now, we have to take a break, and we'll take some phone calls on this, but I got to tell you something.
That was one of the worst rallies I've ever seen him involved in, and that's saying a lot.
And we
there's been a lot of bad ones.
And we got to take a break. But you know who I think the crooked bastard is? The president of the United States. He's lived his whole life that way. Right. What do you think of those comments? What do you think of Donald Trump getting up on a stage, calling Adam Schiff a crooked bastard? Do you think that's not beneath the presidency? Your thoughts, 257-5396. Again, that number to call, 702-257-5396. And another question I will ask you, Joe Biden said if he wins, he's not going to run for re-election in 2024. Your thoughts on that? Would you not vote for him based on that? 257-5396. Take a break. Be back after this.
A damning revelation at a hearing on the Boeing 737 MAX jets, a document that shows the FAA believed that the jet was flawed and predicted that it would crash several times during its operating lifetime. FAA Administrator Stephen Dixon says the plane remains grounded.
When the 737 MAX is returned to service, it will be because the safety issues have been addressed and pilots have received all the training they need to safely operate the aircraft. This process is not guided by a calendar or schedule.
346 people died in 2 737 MAX crashes before the plane was grounded. Justice Department Inspector General Michael Horowitz is telling a Senate committee about his report on the early stages of the Russia investigation, saying it was legally justified, but also detailing significant concerns with some of the FBI's activities. On Wall Street, the Dow is down about 30 points. I'm Mike Moss.
It's time to check the roads in the KDON Traffic Center.
This report sponsored by Big O Tires. Couple of crashes on I-15 in the Southern Valley are active right now. Both are on 15 northbound. One's at Blue Diamond, blocking the HOV. The other one's just north of the Southern Beltway, just before you get to Russell, also blocking the HOV, and that's causing a slowing pattern between the 215 and Russell. Also a crash reported 95 northbound near Ann on the other side of town, on the northern end of town. At Big O Tires now through Monday, December 30th. Buy 2 tires, get 2 free. Good on select tires with purchase of a 1-year alignment and tire protection package through December 30th at participating Big O Tires. I'm John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
If you're one of the millions of Americans who owes back taxes, if you get nervous when the mail comes because you might get a letter from the IRS, then you've heard. Their enforcement agents are cracking down this year and can garnish your paycheck, levy your bank accounts. Even your home or business could be at risk over unpaid taxes. It's all true, but it's also true there's a way out. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative, an important government program for tax debt assistance. The award-winning experts at Optima Tax Relief will fight to get you the best deal possible, protecting your paycheck and your assets from IRS collections. But don't delay, because the IRS is tacking on interest and hefty penalties every single day. So don't wait until it's too late. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
O'Reilly. Is your vehicle ready for the holiday road trip? O'Reilly Auto Parts can help you save on your oil change. Right now, get a $15 gift card after mail-in rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Castrol Edge Full Synthetic and a Wix filter for $33.99. Plus, earn double O-Rewards points. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Mark Levin, weekdays 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 a.m.
Flying the Trump flag, you tell all of your neighbors that you disrespect them.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take. Why should we respect the president when he doesn't respect others, right? Calling Schiff a bastard. Are you guys okay with that? The number to call, 257-5396, 702-257-5396. Joe Biden also signaling that he doesn't want 2 terms. One of his aides saying that he would not run for re-election if he wins in 2020. Your thoughts on that as well? I do find that a little troubling. We'll get to that, but let's get to the phone calls again at 257-5396. Are you okay with the president's behavior last night? And just in general, attacking everyone, calling people names. My personal opinion, and it's the main reason why I just dislike the guy, it's because it's beneath the presidency, his behavior on a regular basis, whether that's on Twitter or anytime he's unscripted. 257-5396. Let's go to Mark. Mark, you're first up on the Vegas Take. What's going on?
What's up, Mark?
Hey, the way I see it, Pelosi, Schiff, and Nadler, and all these House Democrats are the crooks. I'm not going to use the profanity that you guys were using by calling them the B word, but
well, I didn't.
We were using them for names for them.
Let me finish.
Okay,
but what you said is not true.
Yeah, we didn't say
your
that.
president, who you support, called Schiff a bastard. He said that last night.
Schiff is a bastard, and so is Pelosi.
So you're not okay. So you're not okay. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Mark. Okay, I get your point. Mark, I get your point.
No.
Mark,
you guys have got the show. I'm calling in to talk. Okay.
Okay.
Here's the issue.
Okay, Mr. Talker. Go ahead, Mr. Talker.
Thank you. I would appreciate it.
Anything for you, Mark the bastard. Go ahead, Mark the bastard.
The documents come from.
Go ahead, Mr. Bastard. Keep going, Mr. Bastard. Go ahead. Oh,
you call me Mr. Bastard?
You know what? Yeah. You know what? Here's why, Mark, and then I'll let you respond.
Yeah,
I'm not. Hold on. I'm not going to hang up on you, Mark. I will let you continue. But here's why I have a problem with almost everything you said. All you've done is attack Democrats, and yet you have a. Hold on. Let me finish. I know you're chomping at your right-wing bits. Let me finish. You have a problem with me calling the Yeah, keep laughing. Your Tucker Carlson girly laugh. The problem I have with you is that I call the president a bastard in response to him calling Schiff a bastard, but you have no problem with the president. I'm a radio host. I'm just some radio host. The president of the United States is using that same verbiage, but yet you have no problem with the president talking about that, but you have a problem with me calling him a bastard. What kind of biased bastard buffoon are you?
All he's doing is agreeing
I'll tell you
with
what
Donald
kind of
Trump.
biased
That's all he's
bastard
doing.
buffoon I am.
Yeah, please
we are
do.
Sick and tired, okay, of all the witch hunt that started with Hillary Clinton.
Oh, there you go. Bring up the dossier and bring up Hillary Clinton. Yeah, okay.
Why do you try to talk over me? Can you let me finish?
Because you sound like a buffoon. That's why I'm talking over
You
you.
don't want to hear the truth. You don't want to hear.
It's not the truth. What you're saying is nowhere near the truth. That's the point.
Here's my problem, Mark.
That's the
Mark.
problem. You won't let when someone calls in that disagrees with you. That has
No. Disagreeing is okay.
Because you're spouting nonsense.
Okay.
That's why we
I'll tell
cut
you
you
what,
off.
You let me talk.
Because you're spouting nonsense.
Mark,
That's why we cut you off.
Here's the deal. If you have Mark, here's the deal. Mark, calm him down for a second. Mark, I'm not going to hang up on you, but here's the reason why I'm talking over you. I don't mind a disagreement, Mark, and I will let you respond. My problem is you've just attacked one side of the aisle. Look, guess what, Mark? I'm going to admit to something that you would never admit to. I don't like Nancy Pelosi. I'm not a Nadler fan, okay? I'm not going to call them all bastards, but I don't support them. I don't like them, just as I don't like many people on the right. I don't like politicians in general. But the man that is running the country right now is the president of the United States, okay? All you've done is talked about Democrats and attacked the left. Now, if you want any credibility and you want to finish your statement,
He actually hasn't talked about anybody, bro. You haven't let him talk at all.
No,
all he
he's
said,
attacked everybody on the left. What are you talking about?
All he said was that he agrees with Donald Trump.
No, he blasted Pelosi too, and also Nadler, and all. He was blasting people.
He agrees with Donald Trump that Schiff is a bastard, and he said also Nancy Pelosi is a bastard, and so is Nadler.
But he hasn't attacked one Republican, not one. So, Mark, I'm going to give you a chance.
He hasn't been given the opportunity.
Okay, I'll give Mark. Okay, JD, I'm going to do exactly what you want me to do. Mark, I'm going to give you the opportunity. Would you say there is anybody on the right that's a bastard?
Or a sham as well.
So you've been talking over me the whole time and you haven't been listening? Is that what's going on, Mark? I'm giving you.
That's what you're doing to me.
Okay, well, Mark, guess what? It's our radio show and not yours.
Okay,
Can you
I
attack
called
one?
in.
Is
You're
there
supposed
one
to let
person?
me
Be
talk,
quiet.
but you will not let
Be
me
quiet
talk.
and answer a question.
You know what? You guys won't let me talk.
You guys, okay.
Why
First of all,
can't
you haven't
okay,
stopped
you know what? I
talking
gave
since
you
this
the
conversation
courtesy.
started.
I gave you the courtesy.
Did you not?
to talk.
You haven't given me any courtesy. You haven't given me any courtesy.
Mark,
Oh
please,
my
Mark.
God! You can't let me finish, can you?
Mark.
Because you know I'm right.
Yeah,
And
you're
you don't
right.
wanna
Yeah,
get
yeah.
out there
That's what
on
it
the
is, Mark.
airwaves. You two
That's what it
people
is, Mark. You're
are
right.
Idiots. You're morons, and you two are a pair of bastards yourself.
Thank you, Mark. You're very respectful, sir. Now, let me ask you a question. If you're not a coward and you waited on the line,
He's already gone. He
is
hung
there
up, didn't he?
anybody on the right that
He
you
just hung up, didn't he?
Did he hang up? Mark, did you
He
hang up?
absolutely hung up. Yeah. He's
Yeah.
gone.
What a coward. Bye-bye, Mark. Johnny, can we please hang up on Mark?
He laid out the blast. And
Johnny,
then
can
hung
we
up.
please hang up on Mark? Thank you.
Great call, Mark.
25. Yeah, wonderful call. 257.
Outstanding.
Yeah, wonderful.
Top notch.
257-5396. Again, that number to call 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Pete. Pete, you're next on the Vegas State. Go ahead.
That's
Yeah, good morning, Brian. Hey, listen, we all know that Trump likes to get a rise out of people, and that's a reminder to everybody that he's the president. He's the one in charge.
Yeah, he does a good job of it,
he can
too.
get away with it while others cannot. Listen, I just want to make the point here. This whole Ukrainian-Russian deal, the corruption going on, we're only in the infancy of what's going on. If you think that the Ukrainians and Russians are going to let this kind of thing go on in their country, you got another thing coming. You know, this whole Black Sea oil,
What does this have to do with the comments that Donald Trump made last night in the impeachment inquiry?
Well, you know, he likes to get his crowd up and roaring. You know, it's entertaining.
Yes, he is an entertainer. I will say that he's an entertainer, right? That's what he's good at. He's good at entertaining.
He likes.
I will say that
he likes to get people riled up and then control the media narrative with what he says.
Pete, can I ask you a question though?
And control the news cycle, and he's done it since day one. And people don't seem to understand that. That's what he's doing.
No, I understand that, but Pete, let me ask you a question. Isn't there a way to rile up your base without insulting people and calling people bastards and attacking everybody that disagrees with you and lying? Isn't there other ways to do it?
Well, I suppose, but you know, it gets good. It gets good media.
You're right, it does.
And good media is what Trump needs right now.
All Trump talks about is the fake media and fake news. He never talks about good media. The only press conference he has is Fox News. Fox News is the Trump channel after 5 p.m. I mean, that's to me. That's
and then the more he talks about the fake media, like CNN, the more money CNN puts in their pockets from ratings. If Trump wasn't president of the United States, CNN's ratings would be down about 60%. So it makes no sense why they're trying to, take a dump where they eat.
You need to look at the facts here. When things, this corruption thing and everything, this is going to only get worse as time goes by.
For Trump, I agree.
Well, yeah, because the impeachment inquiry is going to end next week, right? They're going to have the vote next week. So this is all going to be, it's not going to, you're saying it's just the beginning. I don't understand what you mean. I guess it's just the beginning if you're talking about the 2020 election cycle. But as far as the impeachment hearing and as far as his impeachment, if he's impeached, he's probably going to be impeached within the next couple of weeks.
Well, what I'm trying to say is, over the next few years, there's going to be an unbelievable amount of corruption and backroom deals and things going on. The whole world is still laughing at us over a lot of this stuff.
You don't think the world is laughing at us with the way Donald Trump conducts himself on a regular basis? You don't think the world is not laughing at it? You don't think there's been corruption in the Trump administration? How about the felonies that have been committed with the people under Donald Trump? I mean, you haven't really spoken about that. There has been corruption since Donald Trump took office. And I would also add that there's been corruption before Donald Trump took office in his life.
Well, yeah, but we both know there's incredible corruption going on all over the place, and there's so much. There's only so much you can do about it. You just gotta brace yourself and get into the fight.
And anytime a quid pro quo takes place, I mean that's what's going to happen. When you're giving money, when you're giving foreign aid to to another country, you're going to want something in return. I mean that's the debt. You're not just going to give them money for nothing. You're going to want some type of compromise, some type of reciprocity. So this whole quid pro quo notion. To me, I mean, why would he? Why would he want to give a country, a potentially very corrupt country like the Ukraine, $400 million that could potentially go into terrorism? You don't know where that money's going. So I think this has been happening for a long time. The whole quid pro quo, because we've been dealing with foreign nations for a long time.
Let me give out
and dealing with millions, if not billions, of dollars. And if that's the case, there's clearly something that we're getting in return for.
Let me respond to that, but let me give out the number. Your thoughts on Donald Trump and some of the statements he made last night. Also, Joe Biden, one of his aides, saying that he would not run for re-election in 2024. We're taking your phone call, 702-257-5396. And again, that number to call is 257-5396. Let me be as logical as I can when it comes to Donald Trump. If he cared so much about corruption in the Ukraine, then why didn't he bring it up before he brought up Joe Biden? And my other question is, why didn't he go to the DOJ? If he really thought that there were crimes being committed in the Ukraine, why didn't he go to the DOJ? Instead, he hires his own personal attorneys, including Rudy Giuliani, to try to dig up dirt on the Bidens and to bring up the Bidens and to come to a conclusion that, oh no, the only reason why he did that because he cares so much about corruption in the Ukraine is ridiculous. It was Sondland who donated $1 million to the Trump campaign, who said it himself that he cares more about the Bidens and his own political future than he does about anything that's going on in the Ukraine. I think that is fairly obvious based on the 17 witnesses so far that have testified. This isn't about corruption. Donald Trump doesn't care about what's going on in the Ukraine. He cares about the Bidens because he cares about one person. That is Donald Trump. That is obvious. Again, the number to call, 257-5396, 702-257-5396.
And also on this, we have to figure out, and we have to boil down to what we're talking about here. Donald Trump is about to be one of 4 presidents who have been impeached in history in this country. Okay, you can get caught up in the weeds all you want about how there's corruption all over the world and politicians all over the world are involved in corruption. Well, yeah, I guess you're right. You're probably dead. You're probably spot on there when it comes to that. But there is a reason. There is a method to the madness. There is a reason why we are at this point when it comes to presidential politics, and President Trump is being on the verge of being impeached. It's because of abuse of power and because of obstruction of Congress. Okay, and that's why he's going to be impeached. And that's why this is such a major deal, and it's a historic moment when it comes to political history in this country.
But Chris, the question that I have for you is this, this lack of bipartisanship right now, this very partisan government, is it helping the United States? Nothing is getting done. Nothing is being accomplished at all. There's the Democrats.
No, that's not true.
The Democrats and the Republicans are not agreeing on anything. I mean, is this helpful? Is this impeachment inquiry helpful to the United States?
They just put a trade deal together less than 24 hours ago. That was bipartisan. The Mexico, Canada, United States trade deal was just finalized yesterday. So to answer your question, Dady, yes, they can walk and chew gum at the same time. You don't
think if this goes, because I'm very, very, very skeptical that, I mean, he's clearly going to get impeached by the House.
Yes, absolutely.
But the Senate is not going to impeach, which means he's not going to be removed from office. So you don't think that this is kind of a waste of time? That it's a distraction?
Absolutely not.
Because a giant distraction to actually accomplishing things?
No, it's not, and I'll tell you why. Because, the reason for impeachment is if you do things that are impeachable, okay, you should be impeached. Now, history is going to judge the U.S. Senate and people that vote for him don't vote for him to be kicked out of office. History will judge them whatever way they're judged. But as far as a note of record here in America, that he's not somebody that's above the law, that he's not somebody that can just do whatever he wants. Mm-hmm. Did you hear? One of the Republican members of the House, I believe it was McCarthy, the other day, say, "Oh, well, we've never impeached a president in his first term. It's never been the right procedure to impeach a president in his first term, as if a president can't get impeached in his
absurd.
First 4 years."
That's absurd.
It was completely ridiculous.
I'm not even going to.
The point being is that hey, it's a point of record. I mean, not a waste of time. No, JD, not at all. I mean, President Clinton, he was impeached, and then the United States Senate didn't boot him out of office either. Yeah. So that looks like the same direction we're going here. We'll see what happens.
257-5396, the number to call. Let's go to John. John, you're next up on the Vegas Take. What's going on?
Hey, guys. So I'm calling to say that I agree with you, Brian, on Trump's comments, right?
You're talking about last night, John?
Think that the President of the United States should be coming out and making comments about anybody like that. I think that he tends to get down in the weeds sometimes when he's at his rallies or talking about
off script. Yeah, off script. Yep, correct.
Here's the problem, though. You guys are wrong on this impeachment thing.
What did I say that was wrong?
I keep hearing you talk about all this undisputed and overwhelming evidence.
There's 2 articles of impeachment. Obstruction of Congress.
But that's not, articles of impeachment aren't evidence on anything.
Okay, so John,
it's a conclusion based on weeks of testimony. And what are you talking about?
Hang on, Chris.
It
John,
absolutely is.
You realize that the testimony was nothing but hearsay.
No, it's not true.
Right?
Not true. Not true. Yeah.
The only one that was different was Sondland.
Okay.
Right? And when Sondland testified, they asked him directly, did Trump ever directly tell him?
John,
you're going to get in the weeds, John. You're going to get in the weeds on details here.
Hang on,
John.
Chris. Hang on, Chris. Yeah. John, let me ask you a very important question, okay? By the way, I've never said what he did necessarily is an impeachable offense. What I've said, okay, but hold on. Let me talk to John for a second. Yeah. What I said, John, is that it was wrong. So let me ask you a question. It's a very simple one, a logical one. When Donald Trump brought up the Bidens in that phone call, do you believe the only reason why he brought up the Bidens was because he cares so much about corruption? Or do you think a part of the reason, not the whole reason, but a part of the reason why he brought up the Bidens was for his own personal political gain? Can you please answer that question honestly?
Yeah, I can absolutely say that it's probably 50-50.
Okay, so then what he did is wrong. That's abuse of power. You just proved my point. No, hold on. I'll let you make your point, but you just made,
like
80-20. I don't care what the percentage is. If there's any percentage that the president put himself before the country, that is what we call abuse of power, John. Now, you can make excuses for the president, but you just said 50% of the reason why he spoke to the president of the Ukraine and withhold aid was because of personal political gain.
But that's just my opinion.
Okay, well, guess what?
Okay, you don't know, and I don't know what he was actually thinking when he made that phone call.
Well,
it's Sondland,
opinion.
Nobody knows.
Okay.
It's a mystery. We don't know. We don't know.
Like one of you, somebody in that panel that's in your station right there, to give me the one actual fact, piece of evidence that makes him guilty of anything.
Numerous times of obstruction of Congress, where he has not allowed people in his administration to testify in the impeachment inquiry. That right there, bang, you're out. Let me ask you this. I'll ask you a very simple question.
Government. He doesn't have to answer to Congress.
Let me ask you a very simple question, okay? Because I assume you're old enough to remember 1998 when Bill Clinton was impeached.
Yeah.
Do you think what Bill Clinton did was worse than what Donald Trump is being accused of here?
Lied under oath.
Okay, so I'm asking a very simple question. Do you think what Bill Clinton did was worse than what President Trump has been already it's already been decided?
About the sex with Lewinsky?
I'm asking you, was it worse than what Donald Trump has done?
I'm asking, is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about lying
he was
under
impeached for lying to Congress, right? I think it was lying to Congress.
Under oath.
Yeah, under oath, obviously. You lie to Congress. When you go under oath in front of Congress, you're lying under oath.
He was impeached for being
worse than anything that Trump's done.
He was being impeached for being a sitting.
You guys understand that?
That's ridiculous. What you said is ridiculous. Yeah,
who used his place to enrich himself sexually from one of his interns.
Right, we have a lot of other phone calls.
That's a pretty big deal.
We have a lot of other phone calls to get to. That's fine if that's your opinion, JD. But my opinion is cheating on your wife and lying about it
with an adult. It wasn't like it was an underage girl.
Let me just finish what I was saying.
While in office.
Okay. Let me just finish what I was. My statement.
An intern of the White House.
I understand. So let me just finish. Having sex, cheating on your wife with an intern, to me, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with what Bill Clinton did. But to me, it doesn't. It's not as bad as putting yourself first before the country and withholding aid to try to dig up dirt on a political opponent. We got to get to the phone calls. 257-5396. Let's get to Philip. Philip, you're next on the Vegas Take. What's up?
What's up, Philip?
Hey, guys. I have an open mind. I might not agree with Trump, the way he comes off, shoots from the hip, with his language. But, at least I can say one thing about the guy. I think the guy really is trying to do good things for the country. And whether you like him or not, he's really unorthodox, very street technique. And this is the first guy that's ever been in office that's been like that.
So, okay. You're
entitled. For what it's worth, the whole impeachment thing is a joke because he's been trying to push this USMCA thing for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally they say, we're going to impeach him, but let's pass the USMCA, which probably won't even get heard.
Philip, Philip, hold on a second.
Year.
Philip, that's debatable what you're saying, and listen, that I'm willing to have that conversation with you, but I'm going to ask you the same question I asked the last caller. Do you think when he brought up the Bidens in that conversation with the president of the Ukraine, do you think any part of him was doing it for personal gain?
Well, what I think that Donald Trump's been on a revenge mission ever since he went to the presidential dinner.
So he's not going to answer. You're not going to answer the
Philip,
question.
it's a yes or no question. I'll ask it one more time. Do you think when he brought up the Bidens in that conversation, he did it only because he cared about?
I answered your question.
No, you didn't.
I'm telling you, I think he's been on a revenge mission against the whole cabal, and I'm not saying it's right.
So you think
the whole cabal? Hey, what's the cabal anyway? What's that all about? What's the cabal? I'm interested in that.
What I'm saying
Tell
is
me what that is.
like
No, what is it? What's the cabal?
Regime.
What is it? What's the cabal?
The whole regime. Let me talk.
I'm asking you the question. What is it? I don't know what that is.
Well, I'm Jewish, and we have kind of different little sayings.
Okay, no, but I don't understand. What is it? What is it? What is it in the context of what we're talking about here? The cabal. What are you talking about?
Well,
are you talking about the deep state?
It goes a little. Donald Trump's dislike isn't just for Biden. It goes all the way back to when Obama made fun of him at Obama's presidential.
I'll go a step further.
I believe that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. You're exactly right there. Yeah. No, you're exactly right.
I'm going to go a step further, and I appreciate the call, Philip.
That's the reason he ran for president, I think.
I appreciate
it was.
the call. Philip,
I think it was.
I'm going to take it a step further. The president wants revenge on anybody that disagrees with him on anything that can make him look bad. 257-5396. Let's squeeze in a call with Joel. Joel, you're next on the Vegas Take. Go ahead. What's on your mind?
What's up, Joel?
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
As you can see from all of your callers who are Trump supporters, you're not going to find one who is going to take a moment to be honest and to admit that Trump actually
did something wrong.
Did impeachable offenses.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he committed crimes.
Right.
An impeachable offense is a different issue.
Joel, I'll take it a step further, Joel. There's people that won't even admit he did anything wrong, let alone impeachable.
Absolutely right. But that leads me to the real point I'm calling about. I think that Nancy Pelosi is going to stop this entire procedure and not allow a vote to happen in the House in order to keep the Senate out of it. Because we know what's going to happen when it goes to the Senate. There's going to be a one-day trial. Someone on the Republican side of the Senate is going to call for a vote. That vote is going to exonerate Trump and give him the ammunition he wants for the 2020 election campaign.
Well, that could be possible, Joel. And listen, we're going to have to wait and see what happens. I appreciate the call. I appreciate your perspective. 257-5396. Let's go to Al. Al, you're next on the Vegas Take. What's up? What's up, Al? What's on your mind?
For one thing, but anyway, I don't know where to start. You guys, I just stumbled into your radio station and
thank you for stumbling. We appreciate that.
Yes.
We hope you stumble again.
I was flipping around trying to find something interesting like this, and you happen to be
You
on.
found
and
us. Al, we grow on you like a fungus,
Al,
my friend.
That's great news. I'm very happy to hear that.
You guys, to coin a phrase, you guys, there's somebody in the background I hear comes up once in a while that he seems like he's trying to keep balance.
You're talking about J.D. Sharp. He's the balancer in this group.
That's probably a very accurate statement, Al.
Thank
you for noticing.
He's the neutral voice of reason in the room. That's what it is.
I'm somewhat reserved in my voice carrier.
Al, I hate to do this to you. I'm up against a hard break. I got 30 seconds, so go ahead, my friend.
Right. Well, I don't know. I just find that everybody's attacking the president. He didn't invent all these things. You're talking about crimes and high crimes and misdemeanors. It's very. I mean, it's a gray area to me. A lot of it. I think he's a good man. He's done the right thing. I've watched him for years on TV.
I agree. I think okay. Well, Al,
hold it. Now,
Al, I've got 10 seconds and I got to go to break. Go.
Well, all the news agencies are in New York City. They all wanted to have him on. And years and years and years, he's been on those things. And whenever I've heard him speak, he's always spoken.
All right. Well, Al, I appreciate that. Your definition of a good man is different than mine. A good man doesn't cheat on their wife and have unprotected sex with a porn star right after his wife has a baby. A good man doesn't attack John McCain, a war hero, and say he doesn't respect him because he was captured. Hold on. A good man.
The country wants a good leader, not a good man.
Well, you know what? That guy who just called in called him a good man, and I got to take a break. We got to take a break. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to the Vegas Take, 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON.
Do you know that mortgage rates have plummeted to a 3-year low and are nearing historic lows? At the same time, home values have gone up roughly 50% in the last several years. However, they seem to be peaking now. Maybe it's time to put that equity to work by paying off high-rate credit cards, personal loans, or remodel your house. Hi, I'm Wesley Hoagland with Westland Financial. Let us put you in a position to do any of these things with no closing costs. That's right. Nothing's rolled into your loan, whether it's conventional, FHA, or VA, will pay your title, settlement, lender, and recording fees. Maybe you just want to lock in a lower rate or refinance out of paying mortgage insurance. All it takes is a 5-minute phone call to see how we can save you thousands of dollars a year. So call Westland at 888-455-3669. It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of mankind. Call us at 888-455-3669. 888-455-3669. That's 888-455-3669.
NMLS number 3304. Not all loans apply. Equal housing lender.
Parents, you always say you want what's best for your children. If that's the case, then you should be bringing your kid to Infinity, the Math Institute, where every student earns an A or B in math. Our results are proven and they are amazing. The best tutoring service for the best price, whether online or in person, small group or one-on-one. You cannot get better results. Great grades will come when your child truly understands the math. From elementary math to calculus, we have the best tutors, the best materials, and the best results. Now offering free parent seminars on how to better help your child, what is Common Core, and more. Find out why parents are bragging and students are enjoying school again by calling 702-768-1777. That's 702-768-1777, or visit themathinstitute.com today. Tell them the Vegas Take sent you, because at Infinity, you don't get more math problems, you get solutions.
Looking for that perfect new piece of furniture for your home? A New Concept Furniture is the place to start and end your search. They'll beat any price on the internet, and they're here locally, so you can feel what you're buying first. Go to A New Concept Furniture today at 4255 South Grand Canyon to see for yourself the slick, modern, shiny store that mirrors our shiny city. A New Concept. Check out their showroom or call them at 702-570-2240. That's 702-570-2240.
You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Whoa! There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
The only FM news talk station in the Valley. 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN Las Vegas, a Beasley Media Group station.
Horowitz walks line. FAA reveals fears. I'm Mike Moss.
And the FISA applications made it appear as though the evidence supporting probable cause was stronger than was actually the case.
The Justice Department Inspector General is testifying before the Senate today on his review of the opening of the Russia investigation. We get more from correspondent Linda Kenyon.
Inspector General Michael Horowitz defends the FBI investigation, but also says mistakes were made.
The activities we found here don't vindicate anybody.
Ranking Democrat Dianne Feinstein questioned whether anti-Trump text messages from investigators created a biased report.
Your investigation also uncovered text messages between other FBI employees expressing support for candidate and President Trump, correct?
That's correct.
The president takes issue with the findings of the report.
A troubling revelation in the House Transportation Committee, a document which shows the FAA believed that the Boeing 737 MAX jet was so flawed it predicted 15 accidents over the lifetime of the plane. The committee chairman, Peter DeFazio.
The FAA rolled the dice on the safety of the traveling public and let the MAX continue to fly until Boeing could overhaul its MCAS software. Tragically, the FAA's analysis, which never saw the light of day beyond the closed doors of the FAA and Boeing, was correct.
2 737 MAX jet crashes led to 346 deaths. Jersey City Mayor Stephen Fulop is crediting police with saving lives in his city's shootout that left an officer, 3 civilians, and 2 gunmen dead at a Jewish market.
Let me just say that there were 2 officers on a walking post 1 block south, and when they heard the gunshots, they responded immediately. From what we can tell in the CCTV cameras, had they not responded and had they not been there in that location, more than likely more people would have died.
The Dow is down 38 points. I'm Mike Moss.
It's time to check the roads in the KDON Traffic Center.
This report sponsored by Big O Tires. A couple of crashes on I-15 in the Southern Valley are active right now. Both are on 15 northbound. One's at Blue Diamond, blocking the HOV. The other one's just north of the Southern Beltway, just before you get to Russell, also blocking the HOV, and that's causing a slowing pattern between the 215 and Russell. Also a crash reported 95 northbound near Ann on the other side of town, on the northern end of town. At Big O Tires now through Monday, December 30th. Buy 2 tires, get 2 free. Good on select tires with purchase of a 1-year alignment and tire protection package through December 30th at participating Big O Tires. I'm John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
This holiday season, get the rest you deserve with Helix Sleep. Helix makes personalized mattresses to fit your unique body type and sleep preferences and give you the best sleep of your life. Go to helixsleep.com and get up to $200 off during their holiday sale.
My name is Sam Murjovsky, long last name. I am a personal injury lawyer.
I'm Ashley Watkins, the Ash of Sam and Ash.
Sam and Ash, your personal injury attorneys. Find them at samandash.com.
What's most important to me and to Ashley is managing the kind of practice that puts the client's case first. We're driving that case in order to get value, in order to get the client better, and in order to make sure the client isn't frustrated at all.
There's nothing like showing up at work every day and knowing you're making a difference in someone's life. You're helping them get through something that they never anticipated happening to them, but they're still hurt. They still need help, and they still need to get from hurt and injured to back to where they were before that accident. And we get to do that day to day. I just love helping people.
Find out more at samandash.com or call 1-800-304-2000. Sam and Ash, because you deserve what's right.
It is very important for us to always get to what the root of whatever is wrong.
You need an attorney that's focused on helping you get to the end and recovery that you deserve.
Hi, I'm Raymond Denon, Vice President of Optima Tax Relief. If you're in debt to the IRS, there's a lot you need to know. Starting with rule number 1, don't mess with the IRS. They can garnish your paycheck, levy your bank accounts, even take your home or business. That's all true. But it's also true that there's a way out. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative. It's one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, even tens of thousands. Nobody knows this program like us, the experts at Optima Tax Relief. We have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, and we've resolved over $500 million in tax debt for our clients. We'll stand between you and the IRS and fight to get you the best deal possible. Don't mess with the IRS. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima for a free consultation.
Call 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922. Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
101.5 FM, 720 AM. KDON, the talk of Las Vegas. Right now, the day's biggest news stories from a Vegas perspective. This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. You know, this is what I love about doing this show is we talk about, obviously, a lot of serious subjects. We try to have a little fun with it. We were just talking about Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And then the next segment, we're talking to some professional wrestlers. This is what I love about the show.
That's why we're great at what we do, right, Brian?
That's right,
man. It's a swift transition, and it's just seamless.
Well, I'm good
left and right.
I'm good at what I do. Speak for yourself. I mean, I don't know. I'm just kidding, Chris. You're awesome. JD's awesome. We love what we do here. I grew up watching wrestling. You know, I grew up in the days of Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant, the WrestleManias, right? The Honky Tonk Man, Mr. Perfect. I would go and watch it at the Hartford Civic Center where I grew up with my dad, and I was a huge wrestling fan, and I still enjoy watching it. Maybe not as much as when I was younger, but I still enjoy it. So we got a great show, great guys in town. It is the HoodSlam Las Vegas, and it's tonight, 8 p.m. at the Thunderbird Saloon. And we have a few of those wrestlers that are going to be performing that are in studio right now. I have to describe what they're looking like, their appearance, because it is quite interesting. We have Dark Sheik and Super Beast. So Super Beast is wearing a what would you call that? What would you call that you're wearing right now, Super Beast? And by the way, your arms are bigger than my entire body. Can I just say that? You are enormously gigantic. Is that even a word? I don't know. You could probably break my neck with like a finger, right?
And this explanation this description is great, but if you want to actually see them, check out our live stream on YouTube where you can actually see Super Beast and Dark Sheik.
Yes. So I'm describing Super Beast. Dark Sheik has long blonde hair, a very attractive dress. And so I'm trying to describe both of them to you. But yes, I do recommend you go on YouTube right now on the Vegas Take page. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. How are you guys doing?
We are well.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks for having us.
So explain to me how long both of you have been professional wrestlers and how you got started in this business.
Sure. I've been doing it almost 20 years now. I started when I was 14. I went and trained in the Bay Area.
And you're out of Oakland, right?
That's right. I live in Oakland, and that's usually where we perform every Friday, except for tonight, Wednesday, 8 p.m. at the Thunderbird Saloon.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Super Beast, how about yourself?
I've been professional wrestling for about 6 years, but collectively I've been training my whole life.
Wow, that is incredible. What are some of the worst injuries both of you have faced in your careers thus far that you can share with us? Real injuries, because I know you guys get hurt all the time.
Yeah, a lot of scars, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
More concussions than I'm comfortable admitting to.
You've had numerous concussions.
I'd say so, yeah.
Wow.
So would my doctor.
Wow.
A couple torn MCLs, a torn ACL. I've cracked a few ribs. I'm really good, though. I swear. I do great.
Super Beast, what about you?
I have torn both my biceps and had them reattached. This one being the worst.
Oh, look at that scar there. That's brutal.
This was actually earlier this year, and this torn bicep was last year. Then a couple of years ago, I fractured this ankle, and I had micro tears in a hamstring.
Oh my God! So when you
broken teeth,
I believe it. So one of my favorite movies of all time is The Wrestler, right? Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
What you guys do performing, the way where you guys are performing and all this other stuff. Do you think that movie was real life stuff? Do you think it was pretty real to what you guys have to go through on a daily basis?
Yeah. Yeah, it showed a lot of real aspects. I think it was a bit of a depressing take on our industry, and like my life's awesome. All right, like I have a sweet apartment. Like it's not depressing like Mickey Rourke living in a trailer.
That was a depressing movie.
Yeah,
right?
They didn't really do our business a lot of credit.
There are stories like that, but not all stories are like that.
Is speaking the mic, JD.
What about the one that came out recently, Fighting with My Family? Did you see that one? No, I didn't watch it. I'm sure it was terrific. It was outstanding.
It was good.
Yeah. I recommend you watch that if you haven't seen that.
By the way, we are going to have some tickets that we're going to be giving away to this wrestling event. I actually saw, the last time I saw wrestling, I hate to use this term, but this is what they called it. It was midget wrestling at the Riviera. This was like maybe 5 years ago or 6 years ago.
I've done that.
Have you done the midget wrestling?
Yeah, I fought the midgets.
So what is okay?
Wait,
so hold on a second.
I have a question.
Yes.
How many midgets do you think it would be a fair fight against the Super Beast?
10?
Excuse me. How many little people?
So
it's like 5 of them.
Super Beast, how tall are you and what do you weigh?
6'1", weigh 255
Okay, so
pounds.
you have huge muscles. You're a big dude. You're telling me you were in the ring with midgets that are what, 3 feet tall?
Yeah.
How is that even fair?
Well, you
could use them as a football.
I think there was 5 midgets and 3 girls. I got beat up by all of them.
So let's. When people say that, well, wrestling is fake, I'm sure both of you don't appreciate that.
I've never heard this before.
But okay, you guys get hurt. It is an extremely physical sport. You guys have to be athletes. There is no doubt about that. But is there some sort of script before a fight? And what I mean by that is, who's going to win the fight, who's going to lose the fight, and do you kind of go through something like how does it work? Can you take me through the life of a professional wrestler and how you prepare for a fight?
No, but I'd love to address your first comment about it being fake. Yeah, the magician will not reveal their tricks.
That's fair.
However,
that's fair.
When people give me that impression that what I do is not authentic, I ask them this fun series of questions. Have you seen Saving Private Ryan?
Yes.
Did you know that Tom Hanks was not actually in World War II?
I did not know that. I thought he was alive back then.
Fun fact. Please write him a letter and tell him he's fake and leave me alone.
Hey, listen,
I don't want to hear it.
You guys are entertainers. I appreciate what you do.
Very
Don't get me
entertaining.
wrand. I don't want you guys to kick my ass.
No,
okay.
it was a fair question.
So
Thank you.
I wouldn't mind saying that.
This might be an unfair question for I'll ask you, Super Beast. Is it true that sometimes you guys put socks and stuff in your underpants to make your bulge look larger? Is there any truth to that rumor?
I
just
have
what I heard.
never actually seen that.
Oh my God.
Nor have I done that.
You've never done that before.
I think
But
I've seen.
I know how insecure a lot of people can be, or just maybe for a joke or gimmick. I wouldn't put it past.
So you think
Some
other
guys.
people do that? But
Oh,
you,
yeah,
you're
I'm
very
sure so.
secure. You're very secure with your bulge, so you're okay.
I've
my
seen a
mediocre
performer.
bulge is good.
Has anyone ever been aroused in a fight with you before? Have you ever noticed that?
I never took the time to check.
Fair enough.
I didn't go feeling around, like, hey man, is it?
Right, so it could have been, it could have happened, but you thought it was a knee or an elbow.
I just,
Exactly.
I'd rather not know.
What is the weirdest thing that ever happened to both of you during a fight? Something that maybe wasn't planned, that was just a bizarre, weird experience. What happened? Can you guys share with us a weird story?
Yeah, I had a few times a fan grab me and another one try and start hitting me, but they weren't really they were trying to like give me chops like Ric Flair.
So you had a fan physically touch, or
I
they
mean,
escorted
multiple
out?
times.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's hard to keep your hands off me.
So here's the thing. I remember I was watching a fight with my dad's second row, and I was a big Honky Tonk Man fan. I'm sure you remember him back in the day, right? Legend, right?
Peak physical condition.
Right. So he was outside. Yeah, he was outside the ring, right? And I'm sitting next to a drunk couple, and the husband pours beer on the Honky Tonk Man, and the Honky Tonk Man kind of gave him a look like, "You moron! Like, what are you doing? I'm an entertainer, right?" So how do you react to that when a fan does something inappropriate? Here you guys are, you're entertainers. You're trying to show people a good time. How do you react to a situation like that when a fan does something inappropriate? What do you do?
Case by case. If it's too much, then I'll defend myself.
Did you ever have to do that?
Yeah.
Can you explain to me? So there was a situation where you had to defend yourself with a fan. What happened?
I punched him in the face.
Did you really?
Yeah.
God, I would have loved to have been at that fight. Oh my God.
That was it. Once I hit him, it was like he was basically grabbed and escorted out.
Who are good?
I took his hat.
Good. I'm glad you did.
I took his hat and wore it in the ring.
What are some of the wrestlers, maybe back in the day, the WWF, that both of you looked up to, that you admired and that you still admire today? Give me some names of some people that you always admired growing up.
I liked Ric Flair a lot growing up.
Ric Flair's
I
a
thought
good
Shawn
one.
Michaels was amazing.
Yeah.
I like a lot of the Japanese style. So I used to get VHS cassettes from across the world when I was a little kid and watch Jushin Liger or Great Sasuke or Hayabusa.
I like Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh, he was terrific.
Oh, I used to like Jim Duggan.
USA.
Yes, Macho Man Randy Savage was one of my favorite guys. To me, there was nothing better when I was a kid. I'm a real American. When Hulk Hogan took the stage, he's a little, or the ring, he's a little old now, but those are, how about you, Chris? And you guys, what are some of your favorites?
Age isn't my concern.
That's
Well,
true.
I was obviously I wasn't really a huge pro wrestling fan, but Hulk Hogan, I was always intrigued whenever I saw him come on the tube. But it kind of leads me to my question for both of you, is that, look, we have an average Joe like myself. I have an impression of what, professional wrestling is and what the show is all about and the events are all about. What's unique for you guys as far as Psychophoria and HoodSlam? Like, what niche do you guys bring to the table as far as your show that's different from what people will expect from professional wrestlers?
That's a terrific question. One, I would say that we are absolutely authentically ourselves.
Mhm.
Take it or leave it. When you watch WWE, it's to the lowest common denominator. It's a PG audience. They just want to fill 3 hours. We're interested in exploring our limitations as artists and performers and seeing how much we can get away with beating each other in public. The name is Psychophoria, and that means a performance or dramatic act that leads you to a state of ecstasy. It's used to describe shamanistic performances or seances, whatever you want to call it. And that's kind of what separates our show. You're not going like it's a baseball game and you're 2,000 feet away and you're looking at these little dots. We're right next to you. You can You can see us. You can smell us. You might feel us. You know, hey,
There's
buy
no
me a drink.
barriers.
You might feel me a lot.
For the record, my co-hosts smell me every morning.
I could, you know, it's all right though.
Yeah.
It's Old Spice.
Yeah, Axe body spray. So here's what I want to do. I want to give away a pair of tickets right now on the air. Both of you are very generous to do that. So fifth caller right now, you are going to win a pair of tickets to see HoodSlam Las Vegas, some pro wrestling right here in our backyard at the Thunderbird Saloon. It sounds like a lot of fun. I got to be honest. I'm actually going to go see the movie Richard Jewell tonight. Otherwise, I would check you guys out. I'm sorry I cannot, but
that didn't feel good.
Well, I have.
You didn't know it had to know that.
Been
You didn't
planning it
have
a
to say
long
that.
time. Otherwise, I would go.
Just,
I had
okay,
to. I had to.
pretend. Just lie,
Okay.
Brian.
All right. I'll definitely be there ringside. I promise.
Love
and
it.
I'll be the one.
Perfect.
I'll be the one throwing the punches.
I'll
All right.
pull you in the ring.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be watching.
Trust me. You don't want to see me with my shirt off. I'm not on the front of Fitness Magazine. Fifth
None of
caller.
us are, man.
Fifth caller right now. 257-5396. Again, fifth caller right now. You're going to win a pair of tickets to see HoodSlam tonight. Again, that number to call, 702-257-5396. And you just scored yourself a pair of tickets tonight at the Thunderbird Saloon to see some professional wrestling. Fifth caller right now, 257-5396.
Yeah, quick asterisk to that. This show is 21 and up. Do not bring your pleasant kids.
Why is it 21 and over?
Because we don't want children there. We want to drink. We want to party. And like, you can have kids at your
Adult
party,
content.
but this is adult
content.
content. It's going to be
So explain to me what that
it's
means.
going to be violent. It's going to be bloody. There's going to be a little bit of everything, but nothing for children.
So do you have ring girls in
I mean,
between rounds?
besides myself?
Right, besides yourself?
Actually, yes. Penny Poison, a award-winning adult and burlesque performer.
And so they're topless?
I don't know the rules of the venue, but she will be
Shoot.
performing tonight.
I was proud to skip my Richard Jewell movie tonight. If you said it was
I can tell you one thing. We were told not to bring the squids for her act. That's all I can really say about it.
Okay. But what do you mean by sexual, though? PG-13, what can you say on the radio? What sexual things are you people doing in the ring?
All of them.
All of them?
No, not all of
Wow.
them. No. You know, you're going to have to come and see. Spend $20 and find out.
Fair.
Be caller number 5, and you can see what kind of sexy I get.
That is a reasonable response. Super Beast, I want to ask Super Beast a question.
Please, I
Super
talk
Beast,
a
you're being
lot.
very quiet over there. You're being very shy. You are very intimidating wearing that thing on your face, by the way. I'm very intimidated by you. Super Beast, you're obviously you look like the Incredible Hulk sitting there.
He looks like Punisher or Bane, one of the two.
Do you
Very
walk
Bane.
around? Do you
Right.
walk like if I were you? Okay, I'd walk around with a wife beater every day and just show off those
Everywhere.
guns.
I
You have to,
never
right?
wear a shirt. If you actually
Yeah.
ask my coworker here, Dark Sheik, he could actually verify. For the last 4 or 5 years, I think he's probably seen me with the shirt maybe 5 times.
This is the first time I've seen you wear a shirt.
4 or
yes.
5 times. I don't really wear clothes unless I have to.
That's understandable. For any of us in the
Especially when
studio,
it's
we would
hot.
never say that.
Especially
Yes.
when it's hot in the
True.
summertime here in Las Vegas.
So do you get like roadies, so to speak? Do you get women that they'll watch you wrestle? Because let's be honest, a lot of women, they enjoy watching wrestling just for the sexual side of things, right? Seeing you guys,
Oh, they hoot and
half
holler,
naked.
and they grab. I get groped a lot. That's
Women just grab your crotch on a regular basis.
Crotch,
Boy, that
my
sounds
ass,
horrible.
And he immediately files lawsuits after.
Boy, that
No,
sounds.
I just hey,
That
whatever,
sound-
man.
Isn't that incredible though? Because if you're a woman and a man did that, that would be sexual assault.
True,
But
in
okay.
this situation, it's selling tickets, so it's hey, man,
So-
whatever works.
Such is the fate of oppression, you know.
No, but
it kind of splits up the scales a little.
But hold on a second here. How
Yeah.
many men or women for that matter that have jobs for a living can say that they try to sell tickets at their job by allowing people to grab their crotch? That is a very unique situation and very
I
unique
wouldn't
job.
call
that you have.
it one of the sales things we're pushing, but if
Well,
it happens,
Joey
I mean,
Ryan
it
is
just,
on
it
the
just
show.
happens.
So
It is
okay.
an adult show.
So let's just say there's like a 65 or 70-year-old woman with her, I don't know, with her son or whatever the case may be, and she whatever the age, older
I've had
woman.
worse, man. I've had worse scenarios. I'm just gonna let you know right now before you finish it.
You've had worse?
I've had worse scenarios than that.
Okay, so give me your worst scenario right now. Give me the story.
I don't think I can. You know,
You can't say it on the air. Well,
I
try
don't
to be PG-13 if you
just the
can.
most amazing things you get in your inbox as a performer, and requests and financial offerings. I guess when they
So
call
you're
it.
telling me that a woman offered you money to spend the night with you?
women, men,
Men too. What's your
absolutely.
price?
There isn't one. I just I'm married.
You hear that? It's free, everybody.
So if you had a conversation with your wife, let's explore this for a second.
Okay.
And you had, whether it's a fairly attractive woman or not, or man, I don't know, but let's just say a fairly attractive woman who also is married says, I want to spend a night with you. I'm going to offer you $100,000. Speak with your wife about it. Maybe your wife can join in. Maybe threesome. I don't know. I'm just putting a hypothetical out there. You're telling me there is no price?
I don't know. Then you put a price on one thing, you got to start putting a price on everything, and then you're not even controlling your own life anymore. So I'd have to go to no.
You sound a little bit like Woody Harrelson in that Demi Moore movie. What was that movie called?
He's trying to avoid
G.I. Jane.
It was Indecent Proposal
Indecent
with Demi
Proposal.
Moore and what's his face? The pretty boy.
I'm
What was his
sorry,
name?
guys. I'm
No idea.
sorry. I'm just fascinated by this. Okay, you both of you are obviously very good at what you do, and it's a very difficult job that you guys have to do. But I just find it fascinating, and I'm sorry, Super Beast. I don't feel sorry for you having women grabbing your crotch and asking you for sex on a regular basis. I think many men would probably
on a
die.
regular basis, but
So-
it happens every now and then. Yeah.
So what do you do when a woman does that? Like, do you turn around and say hello? Like, what?
I
Or do you
ignore
just,
them.
you just how do you ignore that?
I just ignore it. Just keep walking, bro. I don't break character.
I usually go and find them later. And
Do you really?
Oh yeah.
And get their number or what?
I get more than their number.
Go ahead, JD. You had a question.
I like that a lot. So if I go to the show tonight and what am I going to expect as far as fighting style, or wrestling style or fighting style?
Violence.
From you, Super Beast, and you,
brutality.
You got it, yeah.
Dark Sheik individually. Also, how do you train and prepare for that? Like, are you more martial arts oriented, Dark Sheik, and what's your style and what's your training?
Yeah,
regimen?
you nailed it. I did a lot of martial arts growing up. I do a lot of like the cruiserweight wrestling or lucha libre style. So a lot of flying around and spinning around and kicking. I'll be wrestling the King of Dong Style, Joey Ryan, tonight.
The King of what?
Dong Style.
Oh, okay.
Dong.
Yes. So I'm going to try and avoid being flipped by someone's member this evening.
He has the power
I don't even
move
know
that he
where to
does.
go with that. I
There's
just
the
don't
power
know.
move that he uses
Yeah.
his member for. To
Yes, featured on
throws
ESPN
people.
all over the world. He's been seen doing this.
He uses his dong to
Yeah.
flip
As a
people over.
weapon.
Wow.
effectively.
That's what I do on my
weapon.
dates all the time. Yeah, that's exactly what I
Throws
do.
bodies with that thing.
Unfortunately, on my dates, they're struggling just to find the dog. Anyway, that's another story for another show. You guys do tag team wrestling and all that stuff too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
there's
So
a
how many
tag match
fights are we
tonight.
going to have tonight?
We'll have at least 5 matches in the one burlesque performance.
Wow.
The tag team match between the Stoner Brothers and Serial Man and Thick Martel. There'll be myself versus the King of Dong Style, Joey Ryan. Super Beast will be taking on WWE performer Kizarni, now known as Sin Bodhi.
Oh, cool.
The main event will feature, Viva Van will be taking on Heather Monroe in a match I'm looking forward to very much.
2 females in the ring is
That's
always fun
right.
for me. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
That's for sure.
I think you'll
Nothing
like it.
personal, but yeah, 2 females. I mean, hey.
I mean,
you know,
I didn't really
it's-
mind. And then the main event will be Funny Bone versus James C. Funny Bone is your demigod of death.
Gotcha.
And James C. is from the 1920s. This match will be hardcore and bloody, and if you're squeamish, you should leave then, because there'll be thumbtacks, there'll be tables, there'll be chairs.
So that's similar to the movie The Wrestler when we see the scene where he's
Yeah.
in there.
Blood.
That one will be quite
Bloody.
It almost sounds like
inaccurate.
blood sport.
Oh my
Blood.
God.
Yeah, it's gonna get there.
That is crazy. So after you guys fight, when the night's over, do you have a chance to fans have a chance to talk to you guys, meet you guys, take pictures, autographs, that sort of thing?
If
Do you
they
allow
find
that?
if they come to the bar, they do.
I like that.
Or
See,
the
I like
merch
that.
table. Meet me
There
at the
you
merch
go.
table.
Where can I buy a mask like that, by the way?
Oh, for me, I got one for sale. Meet me at the merch table.
I like it, man.
Which beast would you be?
Boy, that's a really good question. I don't know. The liberal beast? I don't know. What would you call him? I don't know. You guys help me out on this one. What type of beast would I be? The diabetic beast?
I'd call you the snowflake beast.
The snowflake beast. Yeah, that's
The
about
bagel beast. That's
Hey,
that's the
you know.
first thing that came to my mind.
Baby beast.
So is there any chance that we can pile drive Chris? I mean, I don't know.
You guys could do it every day of
The
the
rugs-
week. You
the
have a
rugs-
100% chance to
It's a
do
little.
it.
The floor is a little hard. I don't know if we could do that. Chris,
if
have
you
you?
guys want to, yeah. you can-
I'm on injured reserve right now, so I don't want to take any chances as far as my physical activity taking place.
I'd be happy to spin kick you in the face, but I prefer not to grapple anybody.
A spin kick in the face. Well, be careful
Or
because
wherever,
be careful because Chris is known to grab crotches. So I mean, he's done that from time to time. So you're gonna have to be careful. I don't know.
Super Beast, switch chairs with me. Let me get closer.
He's very sneaky in his reach arounds, and I think you would actually fall. I think you would fall through the floor, which we couldn't have here.
All right, so here's the big question, because obviously you guys are in studio to promote the event tonight. So the big question is, for somebody that has never seen you guys perform before, talk to me if they're thinking about going to the event tonight, which is, by the way, let me plug it one more time. It's the HoodSlam Las Vegas, 8 p.m. tonight at the Thunderbird Saloon. For people that are considering going to this event, explain to us, I'll start with you, Super Beast, why people should check you guys out.
Because we're not the WWE. We don't follow those similar, they have like restrictions of things they can and can't do. We can do whatever we want. And we kind of venture into the wild and extreme and dangerous and powerhouse, boom, boomy style. And,
boom, boom, boom.
Very boom, booming. A lot of ESPN moments. You know, definitely worth seeing. Every character's awesome. Every match is awesome. The moves are awesome. Everything's high impact. And just sometimes you wonder if that wrestler just died. Did that guy just die? It looked like he just died.
Why do you guys call it the HoodSlam, by the way?
It started in Oakland, and it was just kind of the neighborhood. You know, it was a little bit off of, I think it started as like Woodstock, HoodSlam. I think that was the amalgamation of, or the process, whatever you want to call it.
Gotcha.
I like that first word.
Yeah, but I don't think it was accurate, but I liked it. It was a good one.
I like it. You guys really aren't in the hood today.
No.
I think I've been to the Thunderbird. Not a horrible area. Not a bad area.
It's a beautiful building. It looks like somebody's like, winter ball would be very well received there. I don't know why they have our
I would imagine
circus come to town. They shouldn't have let us in. They must have not studied before we got there.
Very high class joint, and they're allowing sex wrestling. I don't know. Who knows? But Chris, I've got some good news for you. I believe they have slot machines at the Thunderbird Saloon as well, so you could watch a little bit of professional wrestling,
very important.
sex and violence, and then you could also play a little caveman Keno. Well, listen, I appreciate both of you coming in, Dark Sheik and Super Beast. I hope you guys get a ton of people there tonight, and congratulations on all your success. This has been a lot of fun, and I appreciate you answering all these personal questions. So thank you.
Thank you. It's been a blast.
Thanks for coming in. All right, there you go. There you go. It's Dark Sheik and Super Beast tonight. HoodSlam Las Vegas at the Thunderbird Saloon. By the way, if you're wondering where that's located, it's 1215 Las Vegas Boulevard. All right, we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, another entertainer, Travis Cloer, is going to be joining us in studio. It's his 7th annual holiday show. So we go from sex and wrestling to a Christmas holiday show.
It's going to get crowded in here with all of us.
It is.
I feel like.
Take a break. Be back right after this. You're listening to the Vegas Take.
I'm Jack Weinstein of the Tower Jewels. For over 50 years, the Tower Jewels has provided Las Vegas with outstanding customer service and top quality jewelry. So come see us at the Tower Jewels today.
Visit Tower Jewels today for store-wide savings on rubies, diamonds, sapphires, and more, all up to 70% off at Tower Jewels. This holiday season, see our master designers and have that something special made for your someone special.
Up to 36 months, 0 down, no interest financing available.
Tower of Jewels, Santa Claus's manufacturing jeweler.
This is Harry Jacobs from Credit Restoration of Nevada, inviting you to join me for the Credit Show, Saturday mornings between 9 and 10, here on the new 101.5 FM and 720 AM, KDON.
This is Lorraine Hunt Bono, inviting you to tune in for Breaking Bread with Bono. Join my husband, Dennis Bono, as celebrities share with him their intimate and humorous stories. Saturdays, 5 to 6 p.m., right here on KDON.
Does your child love math? Do they just love math so much that once they finish their homework, they want to work on extra math problems just for fun? Anyone? If you answered no, then you are not alone. While your child may not think math is important for their future, we know better. That's because Infinity the Math Institute offers the best math tutors in Las Vegas, produces the best results at the best prices for kids of all ages. Infinity the Math Institute does it all. Does your child need prep for the SATs? Right now, SAT preparation classes in November are just $15. Fractions, algebra, geometry, decimals, you name it. Plus, Infinity offers homeschool programs, free seminars for parents and students. And whether your child is transitioning from elementary school to middle school to high school, or preparing for college, Infinity can help. Classes are filling up. Call us now to find out more. 702-768-1777. That's 768-1777. You want the best results for your child? One call to Infinity can have a huge impact on your child's future. Call now. 768-1777. Tell them the Vegas Take sent you.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
720 on the AM, 1015 FM. Yeah, now on FM. The only FM news talk station in Las Vegas. KDON.
Justice Department Inspector General Michael Horowitz says the Russia investigation was opened properly, but he continues to fault some within the agency.
Individuals at the Justice Department and the FBI are allowed to have their political views. They're allowed to be voters. They're allowed to be engaged citizens. They should be. They can't, though, tie their personal views to their investigative acts.
Iran says it has diffused a massive cyber attack on unspecified electronic infrastructure, but is providing no specifics on the purported attack. The FAA allowed the Boeing 737 MAX to stay in the air, even after an internal analysis predicted the plane would be involved in several fatal accidents because of flaws in its design and operation. 346 people were killed in 2 737 MAX crashes before that plane was grounded by the FAA. On Wall Street, stocks are pretty much unchanged. I'm Mike Moss.
It's time to check the roads in the KDON Traffic Center.
This report sponsored by Sam and Ash. A crash reported I-15. Southbound Flamingo at the off-ramp, still a factor. Watch for slowing for an accident on the 95. Northbound at the Spaghetti Bowl at the northbound transition ramp. And an accident 95 northbound north of Ann in northwest Las Vegas. On the surface streets, a crash at Buffalo at Cheyenne. Injury sustained, police and fire at the scene. Hurt in an accident, you deserve full compensation, and most importantly, you deserve what's right. You need Sam and Ash. Visit them now, samandash.com, or call 1-800-304-2000. 1-800-304-2000. I'm John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
'Tis the season to be saving at Centennial Toyota. Toyotathon is on all month long, where you can get huge year-end discounts on every new Toyota. That's right, we'll do whatever it takes to help you get out of your old car and into a new Toyota. Shop hundreds of new Camrys, Corollas, Prius, RAV4s, Highlanders, Siennas, Tundras, and Tacomas. Lease a new 2020 Toyota RAV4 LE for just $189 a month. $189 a month. 'Tis the season to be saving. Toyotathon is on all month long at Centennial Toyota, conveniently located on North US 95 in the 215 Beltway. Or visit us at centennialtoyota.com. Auto-proof credit, model 4430, 36-month lease, $52.81 due, 0 security, add taxes, title, and $4.99 dealer fees. Ends 1/6/2020.
You're in charge of hiring, and Indeed has solutions, like online skills tests, which let a candidate show that they're the right hire. Indeed will also give you this sticky frog, which will suddenly leap and stick to the face of the perfect hire. Okay, there's no sticky frog. But skills tests, that's a for sure.
See why independent research by Silk Road shows Indeed delivers 3 times more hires than any other job site. Post your next job at Indeed.com/hire and try skills tests for free. Terms and conditions apply.
Looking for that perfect new piece of furniture for your home? A New Concept Furniture is the place to start and end your search. They'll beat any price on the internet, and they're here locally, so you can feel what you're buying first. Go to A New Concept Furniture today at 4255 South Grand Canyon to see for yourself the slick, modern, shiny store that mirrors our shiny city. A New Concept. Check out their showroom or call them at 702-570-2240. That's 702-570-2240.
And now a message from the traffic cone you ran over on Blue Diamond last week.
Okay, ow, that hurt. I know, you're in a hurry, but I could have been killed. Look, I have a wife and a baby cone on the way. I'm out there risking it all. And for what? I'll tell you, Southern Nevada's economic future. I'm helping the I-11 get built and the Centennial Bowl. So show a cone a little love.
Love the cone. For road construction details, visit seeingorangenv.com or call 702-928-CONE.
Mark Levin, weekdays 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 1015 FM, 720 AM. KDON.
They're impeaching me, and there are no crimes.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro, so glad you could join us. C-Win guest hosting today as well. No, I was just saying, I love it how we've kind of transgressed with these different subjects today. We start talking about some serious subjects, UNLV football hiring a new coach. Then we talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Then we talk to a professional transgender wrestler who's in town tonight, and the guy that was with her was wearing a very interesting mask, professional. And now we go to talking about Christmas songs. So
It's a smorgasbord of topics and individuals and characters that we have here live in studio.
It really is.
Right?
I love it.
That's what we have.
But we love having local performers here that are doing great shows. And the guy we have with us in studio right now, Travis Cloer, he is a very talented musician. And actually, he's going to be performing tonight at the Smith Center. It's the Composer Showcase. Cloer, Mr. Cloer, Travis.
You sound like a teacher.
He's so formal right there, isn't he?
I love it.
Well, you know what? I tried to be formal with those wrestlers. I just didn't really know how to address them. This is so much easier, right, Travis?
It's loosey-goosey now,
yes,
man.
It is.
So thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah,
thanks for letting me be here.
Thanks for being here, right? But you have
Absolutely.
you have like a little Richard Marx looks to you, by the way.
Well, I'll take that, man. I'll take that.
You have that look to you, by the way.
I'll take his paycheck if you can throw that my way too.
And his wife too, by the way. What's her Daisy Fuentes? I've always had a crush.
That's
on her.
Richard Marx's wife. Wow.
Yes, MTV VJ, by the way.
He's doing well.
But anyway,
Travis's better half is solid today.
Yes,
she's outstanding.
Right.
Absolutely. So, Travis, how long have you been a professional musician? Give me a little bit of background.
I've been singing ever since I was a kid. I grew up. My dad was a musician, so it's kind of always been in my blood and in my ears and my soul. So. But I started getting really serious about it in high school, and I've been fortunate enough to make a living at it my whole life. So it's the grind, but I love it, and I'm very fortunate to do it.
So for somebody that has never heard your sound before, compare yourself to maybe some. I know it's kind of hard to do, but compare.
No,
yourself
that's
to
all right. Well, just give it a little bit more background. I was in the hit Broadway Tony and Grammy Award-winning show Jersey Boys. I played Frankie Valli on Broadway for about 1.5 years, and then for the entire run out here in Las Vegas for 8.5 years.
You have to have an unbelievable set of pipes to be able to pull that
man,
off.
it was a lot of fun, and Vegas really grabbed this show and just was really great to us. And the show closed a couple years ago, and my wife and we just decided to stick around town because we love the city so much. And
it is a great city.
and we're still here, man. It's great.
Wow, I didn't know you were in Jersey Boys. That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
that's
pretty damn especially cool. The part of Frankie Valli. But what's the highest note that you can hit? How high does your range go?
Too high. No, it's up there. It's up there. But I was really, really fortunate. I was the longest running actor to play that role in the show's history worldwide. So it's a lot of high notes, a lot of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's really incredible. So how did this, tell me a little bit about this gig tonight. How did this come about? And by the way, before you answer, I want to say in a few minutes, I'm going to be giving away a pair of tickets to check out Travis tonight at the Smith Center. We also have some CDs we're going to be giving away in just a few minutes. Yeah.
Well, tonight's thing is the Composer Showcase. It's the brainchild of my good buddy and co-producer Keith Thompson, who was my musical director at Jersey Boys. And for those of you that don't know what the show is, it's a showcase for local composers. It's full of local writers, local musicians, everybody coming and sharing their music. It's kind of like a writer's open mic night, but it's on a grander scale. We do it down at Myron's Cabaret Jazz, and it can be anywhere from a guy with a guitar playing a song to they've had full orchestras fill the stage. It's crazy. And tonight's kind of like their holiday-themed composers' night.
So it's fair to say there will be no lip syncing. You could spend $200 or $300 for a ticket and watch somebody like Britney Spears lip sync and get half naked, or you can actually watch a real musician like Travis Cloer be on the stage and actually sing.
Tonight is the real deal. You get people that are sharing compositions that they've written. It's all original music, and it's Las Vegas's finest writers, and it's
cool.
It's a great night.
So I asked you to describe your music, but why don't we just play a little bit of it?
Yeah.
So this is a sample song from Travis. If you want to know exactly what he sounds like, besides talking on the radio, here he is. Here's a sample of Travis Cloer.
Let me tell you about this girl I know. She doesn't know I love her so, but she's the one for me. Though she doesn't see, she's always on my mind. Everybody knows she's wonderful. For her,
I like it, man. I like it. By the way, to start off those lyrics, all the girls know I love them. They just don't love me back. That's I like the sound of that, man.
Yeah,
That's
thanks,
awesome.
man. This particular song is off my new record, Here's Travis Cloer, and I wrote and recorded it with my good buddies in town, Billboard charting artists and Grammy-nominated artists Frankie and Tony Marino.
I like it.
Yeah, they co-wrote a lot of the material on there. They produced it, and we were kind of going. I got with them. I said, "Man, I just want to do a record full of feel-good music. That kind of has a bit of a throwback.
Don't
vibe
we need
to
that?
It. Yeah, and that's exactly why I said that, man, because stuff's just crazy right now. So I wanted to give something that people could listen to together and bring everybody together through music. So that's what we did.
We need more feel good music. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of feel good music in the hip hop community, but all I'm saying is we need a little bit of feel good music, especially around the holidays. All right. So here's what I'm going to do.
What?
First couple callers right now, you're going to win a CD package. 702-257-5396. First couple callers right now, you're going to win Travis Cloer's CD package here, a couple CDs for you. And then for the third caller right now, not only are you going to win the CDs, but you're going to win a pair of tickets to check him out tonight at the Smith Center for the Composer Showcase. So the number to call right now, 702-257-5396. Again, that number to call, 702-257-5396. Get on it quick, because the first couple callers are going to win a couple CDs, and the third caller, as I mentioned, is going to win a pair of tickets to check this man out tonight at the Smith Center for the Composer Showcase. Sounds like an awesome show. And again, that number to call if you want to win, 702-257-5396. Once again, that number, 257-5396. First couple callers are going to win some CDs, and the third caller, you are going to win some tickets tonight to check it out at the Smith Center. And by the way, the Smith Center is an awesome place to check out a concert like this. It is really a fantastic venue. I've been there before.
Yeah, it's a great place, man. Myron's Cabaret Jazz is where we do the Composer Showcase, and it's just top notch all the way.
It really is.
Art, and it's really cool.
Man, I should have made it more difficult for the callers, because the number, the lines are going crazy right now. I should have probably done 10th caller, but too late. Too late.
Snooze, you lose.
I'm a man of my word.
87th caller.
Yeah, no, we can't do that. We can't do that.
That's too much work for you guys. You got to count.
Yeah, we should have done that for the transgender professional wrestling. We should have done that. We should have done 80. I was going to give out another number, but that would have been inappropriate.
So Travis, you think about the music icons that you grew up listening to and enjoying. Who are the ones that you focus on and say, hey, that's the one. That's the kind of people that I want to emulate and that I follow.
My mom was a big influence in my musical taste. She, listened to all the great artists from her age, like Sam Cooke and Frankie Valli and the Temptations and all that kind of stuff. So that kind of stuff has always kind of been in my ears and in my heart. And so now when I write music, that's normally the direction that I go. It just has a good vibe to it, man. It makes me feel good. And when I write and when I record and I perform, I like to make other people feel good,
Is crooner a bad word to use for singers like yourself?
Because
that's what I think. I think of when I think of like Matt Goss, right? And I think about Michael Bublé and others like that.
I'll take that.
I think crooner, and that's the word that comes to my mind.
I'll take that. I'll take that for sure. Actually, the new album that I'm working on right now, I'm kind of going more in that direction of the crooner area, but all original stuff. So that's
all right.
I
hate to put you on the spot here, Travis,
What's up?
and you could say no if you would like. But is there any chance we can do a 10 or 15 second sample of what you're going to be doing tonight on the air? I know you haven't, I know I'm putting you on the spot here a little bit, but you have such a fantastic voice, obviously.
And that's why I actually offered you water.
Yes.
So I expected this.
Aha.
I was preparing you subconsciously.
You don't have to say yes.
I'm an angle shooter.
Listen, I did the same thing with these wrestlers last segment. I said, can you pile drive my co-host? And they didn't do it. They said no.
They wanted to pile drive
you. Don't have to say yes, but he's putting you on the spot right now.
On the spot. Yeah. All right. Well, tonight I'm going to be doing one of the original songs that I wrote on my Christmas record, which is part of the CD package that you guys are giving away. And I'm doing it tonight. It was arranged by Keith Thompson, and we'll be up there with at least, I think, 5 horns and a rhythm section and all this stuff. So it's going to be swinging. The chorus of it goes, we melted the snow and ice on those white silent nights. We didn't care that it was storming outside. Now those leaves of green and red are hanging above my lonely head. And I wish I was standing with you here instead. 'Cause baby, it's cold under the mistletoe since you've been gone.
Wow, that was awesome.
On cue.
Yeah, that was phenomenal.
That was off the cuff.
Really good.
You bastard. I'm so jealous of you. You walk in. Can you imagine if this guy walks into Ellis Island and does some karaoke?
Travis,
are you kidding me?
We used to hit Ellis Island all the time when we were in Jersey, boys, man.
Yeah.
Every Thursday night we'd be down there.
Because you're over at the Palazzo. It was at the Palazzo Theater
Right.
where
We
that
were at
show
Palazzo
was
for a little while,
initially.
then we moved down to Paris, but Ellis Island was a regular stop for sure.
What was it in the movie Step Brothers? You have the voice of Jesus and Fergie.
Yeah,
Your voice sounds like a combination of Fergie and
no
Jesus.
rehearsal,
I love that.
no rehearsal, nothing. He just busted out the rhymes. Chris, can you give us a sample,
I
please?
can't.
Yeah, it's your turn now, guys. Come
absolutely
on.
not pull that off. And
Come on.
Brian, I don't think
Attempt it.
when we go to bars and stuff, I don't think people are asking us to. Can you give us a little, a sample of what you guys do on the radio? When
Give
you're
me 10 seconds.
When we roll into Ellis Island for the 20-ounce beers. That doesn't happen.
Chris, here's what I want to do here.
Yeah.
Travis, now that you're here, each one of us is going to sing 10 seconds of a song of our choice.
Yes.
JD's going to do it. Chris is going to do it. And I'm going to do it. You are going to give us on a scale. I'm just spontaneous right now. Scale of 1 to 10.
You're going to judge.
You're going to give us, worst being a 0,
all right,
best being a 10. Since I give Chris crap all the time, Chris is going to start. Chris, I want you to.
What's the winner getting? Dinner?
No, just bragging rights.
Bragging rights. That's fine.
Okay, I don't know what song I'm going to sing, but go ahead, Chris.
Sing us a song, you're the piano man.
Yeah.
Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you got us feeling all right. Bang. Karaoke.
Boom. That was pretty good.
One of my karaoke go-tos. That's why I pulled that one.
Fantastic,
I can't make fun of Chris. He actually did a really good job.
All right, Brian, get after it.
Hold on. We got to let him vote now. Okay, Travis, scale 1 to 10. What would you give C-Win?
That's at least a solid 7.
Wow, that's pretty good. I don't think I'm going to be able to beat that. Okay, JD. I got some competition here. JD, you're next. Let's go.
Regrets. I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way.
Well done. Well done.
This is tough, Travis. I'm putting you on the spot here.
That had the nice baritone in my ears too, man. That was like warm butter almost. That was good. I'm gonna give that a good 8.5.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not singing a show tune. All I listened to growing up is alternative rock. So I'm gonna sing a song from the band called Live. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Yeah,
called Lightning Crashes, and I will do the chorus. All right,
Let's
here we
have
go.
it.
This is probably gonna be awful, but here we go. Oh, now I feel it coming back again like a rolling thunder chasing the wind. Forces pulling from the center of the earth again. I can feel it. There you go. That's it.
That's not bad.
That was
That's
good.
not bad.
That was solid.
That's okay.
That's some good alternative vibes.
I was
going
gonna go with Stone Temple Pilots, but I went with Live. So all right.
I
there you
love
go.
that.
Don't kiss my ass.
I'm not going to kiss your ass, but since I'm here on your show, I feel like I have to kiss your ass and give you a good 9.3145.
Yes.
You do not understand how much pride he feels right now because of that. He just knocked out both myself and JD in that contest. We are going to hear about Travis. We're going to hear about that now forever.
Happy holidays, everybody.
I would actually like a caller to call in and give their opinion on a couple of these.
I actually don't know if I deserve that, but I appreciate the compliment.
Yeah,
I can hold my own with you guys. I'll say that. I can hold my
Totally.
own. Not with you. Not with
now
you.
You guys
clearly.
got to put a little act together and go Christmas caroling or something.
A duet. Or
I can see
something,
that. I could do that.
I was gonna.
We could definitely beg for change on Fremont Street.
Yeah.
We can make that happen.
I've seen much worse down there. That's for sure.
I was gonna sing the song "Crazy Bitch," but I don't think you can do that on the radio. So I'm not with Buckcherry, but I'm not. I wasn't gonna. I went with Live instead. Anyway, Travis. Again, your show tonight is at the Smith Center, the Composer Showcase. What time does it start? How can people get tickets?
It's a late one, man. It's they do it late because a lot of people that are in the show are in shows on the Strip. So it gets kicked off about 10:30 down there. It's a late night, but it's a lot of fun. Great original music, and again, it's their holiday version of it. So
cool.
Yeah,
cool.
And you can get tickets at Smith Center's website.
Thank you for giving out some tickets and your CDs. We appreciate it,
got
Travis. Wish you luck with your future endeavors.
Yeah,
you have
thanks,
a phenomenal voice.
And by the way, you can catch your videos too, right? They're all over the place on social media and on YouTube, right?
All my music's on all platforms. I've got videos on YouTube, and I share all that stuff on my social media sites as well. So.
Cool. Well, congratulations on all your success, Travis.
Thanks,
we appreciate it. Glad you stuck around and you live here in Vegas.
And thank you for the
Thank you for the cookies, by the way.
Yeah,
Man,
I brought some
they're
Christmas
unbelievable.
cookies. Yeah,
We appreciate that. Very nice of you. And there you go, everybody. Travis Cloer tonight at the Smith Center, the Composer Showcase. Check him out, man. Yeah, awesome voice, and we know it's going to be a great show tonight. Appreciate Travis coming in. Take a quick break and wrap up things after this. You're listening to the Vegas Take on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, K-Dawn.
So what would you do with an extra $500 a month in your budget? $500. This isn't hypothetical, by the way. This is something you may need to think about very soon if you decide to become a member of MediShare. MediShare is a way to pay for your health care, and typically it costs $500 less per month for a family versus other healthcare plans. So seriously, think about this. You could pay off loans, pay down a mortgage, save the money for retirement, donate to charity. That would be a big deal. But you know what? Here's the best thing. MediShare works. It's a Christian healthcare sharing ministry with 400,000 members. They've shared over $2 billion in medical bills, so they can help share your needs too. And with MediShare, not only do you save, you don't have to pay for things you don't believe in. And that's a beautiful thing too. So here's how you can find out more, and you might actually wind up saving even more than $500 a month. So check into it. 844-47-BIBLE. That's 844-47-BIBLE. 844-47-BIBLE.
Maybe it's time to take a fresh look at everything we thought we knew about landing a great job. For instance, what if phenomenal careers start at the middle school science fair instead of at the job fair? If being the captain of the robotics team means just as much on a college application as being captain of the football team. And if knowing the quadratic formula is every bit as important as knowing the right people. Well, the fact is, the jobs of the future will be heavily geared towards science, technology, engineering, and math. In other words, the future is STEM. More opportunities, better pay. And the road to these great jobs starts as early as middle school. So if you're a student, talk to your school counselor about STEM. If you're a parent, talk to your kids. Because the job you'll get in the future may very well depend on what you do today. A public service message from America's Navy.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Sean Hannity, weekdays noon to 3 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 AM. K-Dawn.
Say it, you crooked bastard, say it.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, the Sharp and Shapiro. Like I said, try to find me another show where in an hour you can talk to a professional transgender wrestler, and then you talk to a guy who does a great job singing Christmas tunes. So that's what we do here on the
brings
Vegas
great
Take.
Christmas tree holiday cookies as well,
That's right.
too. We have just been tearing into these in the break.
I'm going to give some credit to Arl's Donuts right now. That's on YouTube. If you want to watch, I'm showing this cookie right now.
Yep.
On the screen. And it is one of the best cookies I've ever had in my entire life.
I'm sure there's
so credit to Arl's Donuts, even though you're not paying me for it.
I'm sure there's
And
nothing more
thanks, Travis, for bringing it.
There's nothing more entertaining than watching you eat a cookie. That's something that I would definitely want to watch
It's
myself.
not entertaining. You hear him sing Frank Sinatra "My Way" on the radio.
That was great.
That was great.
This is top 5 best cookie I've had in my entire life.
No, we appreciate Travis coming in. That was certainly a lot of fun. By the way, our producer usually tells me the guests we have on the show tomorrow, but I'll do his job for him. That's fine. Jason, why don't you get in here and do your job? Why don't you tell us who we have on the show tomorrow? I believe we have Terry Fader on the show tomorrow. Stein, where did you run off to?
Where'd
what
he
are
go?
you doing? Are you hitting on some of those wrestlers? What are you doing? Where did you go? He's not even in his office right now. Oh, he's on the phone talking to somebody. He's probably talking to his mom on the phone
He's
right now.
also eating a cookie.
By the way, I want to give a little story real quick. I was going to do this at the top of the show, but we had all this breaking news about a new UNLV football coach, right? I had to say goodbye to my 04 Hyundai Elantra.
No, say it isn't
last
so.
Last night.
No.
Let me tell you the hell that I had to go through. So my parents want the car. And I said, guys, it's going to cost me like $1,000 to ship the car from Las Vegas to Connecticut. I said, I'd rather just buy you guys a car, right?
Wait. You're not sending it to the trash compactor in the salvage yard?
No.
You're not sending that off to Prairie, that car? You're actually keeping that around?
No.
That's actually going to still be in use? That vehicle? That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, look, this is what happened last night. And I want to share with you the hell that I went through. So last night, I was told that the person picking up my car, it's one of those trucks where it holds a bunch of cars. Right. I don't know what you'd call that, but I was told 1 p.m. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, that's fantastic. Right after the radio show, eat some lunch, go home. Then, and I was planning, by the way, to go to the Vegas Golden Knights game last night. And I wish I did because it was Marc-Andre Fleury's first return back since his father, passed away.
Nice win for VGK
so
last night.
Then
I called you to go to that game and you were sleeping the whole time.
Then I get I'll tell you why. I got a phone call from the truck driver picking up this piece of crap 0400 Elantra, sending back to my family. I'm not going to be there till 9 p.m. I said, damn it. All right, well, listen, I can't go to the Vegas Golden Knights game. There'll be plenty of other games to go to. Not a problem. So Stein's over the house. We're watching some TV. I get a phone call from this driver at 8 p.m. that says, I'm still in L.A. He didn't pick up my car until 1 o'clock in the morning. I spent $1,000, and the guy was 10 hours late. So not only do I have to be home at 1 p.m., I missed the Vegas Golden Knights game, which clearly I could have gone to. I had to stay up for this idiot till 1 p.m. And I had to spend $1,000 to ship my car to my family when the car isn't even worth $500. And by the way, I didn't even clean up the car. I'm making my parents do that. There was crap everywhere, condom wrappers everywhere, everything, it was disgusting. Okay. You could probably catch a disease or an STD if you're sitting in that car. And I told my parents, I'm like, all the hell I'm going through, spending $1,000, waiting up all night, you clean up the car. I'm done. So I said goodbye to my 04 Hyundai Elantra. I had a moment for about 5 seconds where it's kind of like when you walk away from somebody and you kind of turn around and just get one more look. That's what I did with the car. I said, good riddance with this damn car. Good riddance. That was how my night went last. It was not fun at all. It was horrible. I was praying the car would just start because I haven't driven the car in like 3 months.
I can't imagine that punctuation is a major priority, JD, when it comes to the car shipping across the country business. I could be wrong, though. But apparently after hearing that story from Shap, I don't think that it necessarily was a major deal for them as far as getting here on time and getting Brian's 04 Elantra safely across the nation to the beautiful state of Connecticut.
It was a horrible experience. I did not enjoy it. I never want to go through that again. And they absolutely destroy you with pricing when it comes from shipping a car. By the way, a quick story I wanted to note real quickly here because I do find it somewhat funny. Professional golfer. He's been a pro on the PGA Tour for a number of years. Never won a major, but I wouldn't say he's a household name, but a guy who makes cuts and he keeps his PGA Tour card. His name is Tommy Gainey. You might have heard of him before. They call him Two Gloves. I don't know why. But anyway, he was arrested for soliciting a prostitute yesterday. He's facing a first-degree misdemeanor solicitation charge. The sting op was a 6-day investigation using undercover detectives to target prostitution. Cops say they used internet advertisements to arrange meetings. Officials presented a naughty list showing all 124 people arrested, and Gainey was on that list. I guess you could say he was willing to pay for a hole-in-one and play the backside, and he never exactly got a chance to finish the 18 holes, so to speak.
Shap and JD, really is this guy is he the Charlie Sheen of the PGA Tour? Is that what we got going here?
No, this guy's just lazy.
He's not.
He's just lazy.
Can I ask you guys a question? If you're
and prostitution should be legal.
If you're a PGA Tour pro, obviously this guy has money. Yeah. He's not a horrible looking guy, although when I took a look at his let me change my mind on that one. When I take a look at his mugshot, he looks like a guy from that show To Catch a Predator.
He does.
It looks like Chris Hansen is going to jump out and say, so what were you planning on doing tonight?
Grab a seat over here. Why don't you sit down?
What were you planning on doing with that McDonald's food and that lube? What were you planning on doing? That's what he looks like in this. But anyway, he's never won a major before, but he has become a fan favorite for the way he dresses and plays, in particular his unique swing. Gainey has had major sponsors over the years, Under Armour and Adams Golf. Something tells me that those sponsors might go away very soon. Yeah. Look, I feel bad for the guy. Look, he wanted to pay for sex. Unfortunately, it happened to be a police officer in an undercover sting. Listen, I don't support illegal prostitution. Don't get me wrong. Although I have said, and JD, I would agree with you that prostitution probably should be legal. It'd be cleaner. It'd be safer.
It is legal outside of Clark County.
Yeah.
It is legal outside of Clark County.
Well, yeah, in Nevada.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen,
I'm talking national.
Everywhere.
Well, we send two gloves our best. Hopefully, he was planning on wearing at least one glove that night, but it never got to that point. But anyway, gentlemen, this has been a fun show. It's been very entertaining. We've had a fun time. This is we have 30 seconds. JD, plug all of our social media stuff.
Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Every single show is now live streamed on our YouTube page. And if you go to our new website, www.thevegastake.com, we are now adding articles to current and former segments. You can actually click on the article, and you can. And we've hired writers, and they actually write. They summarize what we discuss, so you don't have to listen to the entire interview if you don't want to.
Cool. All right. Well, Chris, thank you for joining us as you do.
Good times had by all.
Winning Wednesdays. Quickly, 10 seconds. Do you have a pick for us?
A pick for tonight?
Yeah.
You put me on the spot.
Hit us.
Wait, not yet.
Tell me it's the Lakers. Tell me it's the Lakers.
I don't have a pick. No.
All right.
The Orlando Magic beat the Lakers tonight.
We got a break. Everybody have a fantastic afternoon.
Horowitz hate crime. I'm Mike Moss. Justice Department Inspector General Michael Horowitz's report on the opening of the FBI investigation finds serious fault with the agency, but he says he found no evidence that bias was the motivation for the probe.
Concern.